Tonight on the Black Channel, if you're a Democrat, you already realize it's just going to be a very long, ugly 4 years. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, well, if anybody ever had any misgivings in their mind about how things were going to go, all of that got put to rest here in about the last week. I would say that it's been ridiculous, but man, that would be understating ridiculous. And the right-wingers over there at Sky News in Australia have been having a field day collecting the greatest hits. We're going to start first and foremost with the DNC's. They had their chair committee to choose who would be the chairperson, vice chair to replace Jamie Harrison. And to say that they've not only did they not learn anything from the election, they are not doubling down. They are tripling down. It's ridiculous. For those of you who did not hear the criterion they put together, these are the folks who think they're going to fight Donald Trump. Listen to how they're assembling their new leadership in the meantime.
The DNC have learned absolutely nothing from their humiliating defeat at the last presidential election. We saw history repeat itself at the weekend, where a DNC official demanded that a non-binary person be voted into the vice president position of the organization.
The rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent. The order of balloting is designed to ensure equal access to the ballot, regardless of gender identity. As we must elect a candidate of any gender as well as 1 male and 1 female vice chair, we will first ask members to elect a candidate of any gender on the first ballot. Any candidate, male, female, and non-binary, can be elected on that ballot. After a candidate is elected on the first ballot, we'll have 1 officer of the 3, so then we will know which position is filled of the 1 male, 1 female, and 1 vice chair of any gender. Our second ballot would also be for a candidate of any gender. Then our third ballot will be the 3rd position that is remaining based on the 2 results. Either a male candidate if a candidate that is not male has not been elected, or a female candidate if a female has not been elected.
The confused diatribe was mocked relentlessly by online commentators.
Spoiler alert, they elected 2 white males. So just in case you were thinking to yourselves that, by the way, this would ensure whatever the hell that balance was, by the way, they elected not 1 but 2 white males. Damn! Yeah. After all that, but folks, I mean, it wasn't done because you know what happens when they get their hand-chosen Negroes? They choose them for a certain reason. And when they get in front of folk, they start performing. So they had a couple of black females there of questionable lineage, and they went straight to work performing. Folks, tonight's program is basically the Democratic cringe party. Brace yourselves all night, basically.
For making every aspect of the event about gender, race, and sexuality.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking. And I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
And this bizarre moment had people convinced the whole event was one big parody.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds. And we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair, and I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on.
The chosen vice president was David Hogg.
That's a hell of a way to segue there. They got her singing, and then now you see who they chose as the vice chair. It's like, yeah, moving right along. Somebody says, is this a joke? Yeah, it's the joke, and the joke is on them. Some of y'all are wondering, is this a parody? No, this was the Democratic National Conference Convention, their committee, to choose the next chairman and vice chairman of the party. You know, since they're not in the White House, we're choosing who's going to replace Jamie Harrison and friends. And she was, you just heard, I'm a candidate for the chairman. She wanted to be a candidate to replace Jamie Harrison. And when they asked her to speak, that's what she decided to bust out doing. And by the way, that's the nice, I mean, that's just one version of it there. I would love to tell you that that was all that happened or the only bit of it that happened, but no, actually it wasn't. I guess that was her job. I don't know. I guess that was her job to just sit up there and wail or something, I suppose, because she wound up just doing that again and again. She sang a couple of times. She didn't just sing once. She sang like a couple of times. So I can only assume that that was their reason for bringing her, was they gave her a lane or whatever and just told her, you just go up there, whatever's on your heart, you go ahead and just do that. So she sang there, and then she sang some more. So that was what she did. That's the Democratic National Committee, folks. That's them. Now, they chose David Hogg. And if you take a look behind David Hogg when he won there, well, who do you see? I mean, this was just a big minstrel show. This is really just this is what they think of black folk. And of course, they've gathered people who are handpicked specifically because they are questionable folks there. And this is what they keep shoving out there. This is what they keep shoving out there. I mean, it's like a damn cartoon. It's like a Looney Tunes. This is exactly what the hell everything's a damn caricature. This is what they were throwing out there. So first and foremost, just to take you back here for a moment, as you can see, when Jamie Harrison, built like a milk dud, was sitting up there talking, you can see what he posted. I mean, you can see that. Now, this was on the screen now for those at home who needed some visual aids. These are their non-binary, this is what the Democrats think are the non-binary genders. Your genders and your pronouns, this is what they think. Theirs, them, their, her, ze, she, his, z, they, them, zim, hers, they, him, he. Of course, they put him and he last because radical feminists and beta males and LGBT. So that's who their party supports now, is if you're not gay, screwed up in the head, they're not really interested in what you got to say. So, but yeah, those are all the genders apparently, and their pronouns. Those are all of them. Theirs, zim, their, her, ze, she, his, ze, they, them, zim, hers, they, him, he. Yeah, they're just making it up as they go along. They're just making it up as they go along here. So if you wanted to know what the condition or the organization of the Democrat Party is right now in the wake of Donald Trump making it to the White House, what is the state of their organization? Completely disorganized. Yes. Yeah. There is no organization. None. That's exactly what they're doing with their time right now. This is what they're concentrating on. When Donald Trump and Elon Musk are sitting up here, if y'all want to know why they're running the tables and Elon is just walking into the treasury and looking through folks' computers and just doing whatever in the hell he wants to, you want to know why? This is why. You know, Will Rogers once said, "I'm not a member of any organized political party. I'm a Democrat." And all these decades later, they're proving that what he said decades ago is still true today. Will Rogers right now, I think on one half he would be rolling over in his grave, and on the other half he'd be like, yeah, I am so unsurprised. I am so unshocked that this is happening. I'm just so unsurprised that so little he would just recognize it right back. Yeah, this is pretty much what I was expecting. Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought it would be. And folks, this is after they had time to wait. I mean, it's like somebody losing the test after they already studied the answers. It's just, yeah, let's just go ahead and redo it again. Let's just double down on it. So in other words, they would rather lose. They would rather lose and keep doing what they're doing than to actually change and make some corrections. They would rather just lose and keep doing what they're doing. If we're going to lose, well, at least I'm in charge of the losing. And at least I'm the most important person here. When the old girl jumped up talking about, I am a black woman, as if that's, that's going to have cachet. She meant this. Hey, can I be seen? Are you listening to me? Can I be seen? It's like, we got real problems and real issues going on here. There are real problems and real issues happening. And she's like, yeah, not really concerned. Can I be seen? Is my mic on? Is my mic on? Are you listening to me? Is my mic on? No wonder you can't get anything to happen. No wonder. Well, folks, as bad as that is, and as bad as that's been, it gets even worse. Because, as you know, Elon Musk has been brought into the administration there. His Department of Government Efficiency went after USAID. They're in the Treasury. They're in Social Security. They are looking in the cabinets. They are going through the laundry. They are doing everything, anything and everything. There's no holds barred out here. They're doing whatever the hell they want to. They're just going all over the place. And the Democrats, apparently because it's getting hit a little bit too close to home, they decided that they were going to push back on it. They decided that they were going to push back on it, or at least they were going to attempt to try to do so. And they decided to get together and hold a protest. And if you thought that what happened at the convention there, if you thought that what happened at their chairman convention was cringe, people, you ain't seen a damn thing yet. Pardon some of the language that you're going to hear in advance, because I'm going to play this for you unedited. Sky News once again having a damn field day at the Democrats' expense. This is some highlights from their protest. Everybody was in full vaudevillian performance mode. A bunch of crusty octogenarians, near octogenarians, whacked out feminists, whack jobs. Hear it for yourselves, and you can't say I didn't warn you.
At the crowd.
We will not take this. We will fight back.
Fight back. Fight back.
And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby.
We are not going to make America great again by making America hate again. We are going to stand and fight. All across America, people are knocked down, but they are getting up, and they are going to fight the dictator of Donald Trump and his henchman, Elon Musk.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure, you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass.
Folks, I mean, just some things kind of speak for themselves, and I can't really add a hell of a whole lot more to it. I think it's bad enough by its damn self. That's the opposition, y'all. You want to know who it is who says that they're opposing Donald Trump? You just saw them. That was them this week. And by the way, that was the nice version of it. Here's the not so nice version of it. Here's the other wing of it there, so you can hear exactly how their little chant went.
We will win. 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 We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest. We won't rest.
Okay. I feel like Jon Stewart right now when he was wigging out over it, and he's like, yeah, Democrats, come here. Let me tell you something. Folks, first of all, let me give you a couple of pointers about leading a public cheer 101. First of all, the first rule of doing a public cheer is don't go into business for yourself. When folks start a cheer, you stick with it. You stick with who brung you to the dance. It's like herding cats to do a cheer. Don't sit up here and say something and then introduce new lyrics. Don't do that. It's jarring. It's discombobulating. It sucks the oxygen and the enthusiasm. So you got to cheer. Hey, Chuck, this is not time to be control freaks. So my first thing is, if you have a cheer, even if it's one that anemic and emaciated, just stick where you are. Don't sit up here and try to change gears, okay? I know you're having all kinds of enthusiasm about it, but just don't do it. Fight the temptation. Second of all, if you're going to lead a cheer, please don't bring your oldest. I mean, folks, you take a look here. Do you see? I mean, it's a bunch of literal octogenarians. They're literally in their 80s. They literally brought their canes with them. What? I mean, they literally brought their walking canes. You see the congressman over here holding his walking cane over there, shaking it furiously. This is literally what was happening. Let me play it again for you because this is not embarrassing or ridiculous, demoralizing enough. He's shaking his cane furiously. This is Donald Trump's opposition? Really? Like a bunch of senior citizens at the group home, demanding that the orderlies bring out their oatmeal. The oatmeal is too tough. We won't take this. We won't eat it. We won't eat it. We won't eat it. And the oatmeal is too tough. It needs to be thinner. That's literally what this was like. Anybody who's been to an old folks rest home knows, this is literally what it is. If they get organized, they only get organized for bathroom supplies and what they're gonna eat, and they are the most cantankerous little group you ever imagined. It's worse than the kindergarten. And these are the folks in your government. You wanna know why the hell we can't get nothing done? The younger Democrats, they chased them all off. They sidelined them. Cori Bush, Jamal Bowman, out your ass goes. Thanks to AIPAC. Out you go. AIPAC and the Israel lobby said, okay, you got to go. There's Chuck Schumer and no danger of losing anything. Maxine Waters sitting right there. No threat, no help, no clue. And the younger Democrats have been sidelined. Bakari Sellers is reduced to being a sideline panelist on CNN. Nina Turner, they ran her off. Ocasio-Cortez is basically off at a party by herself. She's a Democrat in name only. But the young folk ain't running nothing. The so-called young people in the party ain't running a damn thing but they mouths. These old octogenarians done took over, and they're just like, hey, I'll give it up when they wheel my ass out of here in a box. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has surrounded himself with a bunch of young people, relatively young people. Pam Bondi, the White House spokeswoman, Elon Musk, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio. Trump has not surrounded himself with, damn me, the second generation of the Golden Girls. He's got a bunch of young, energetic folk around him, and the Democrats have gone recruiting all of their candidates from the AARP convention. And these are the people who are going to lead the charge. Are you kidding me? They should have been replaced. Look, at this point right now, I vote that we save ourselves the taxpayer dollars and just go ahead and suspend the next presidential election so J.D. Vance can go ahead and just, start, choosing the furniture in the Oval Office. There's no reason for us to stand out there in the cold or anything. There's no reason for us to put ourselves through that. We certainly don't need to go through the emotional distress of pretending there's going to be a competitive primary or that there's somebody who's going to challenge them. I vote we just forego all that and just, hey, JD, you got 2028. Let's go. So we can go spend our time on something useful. So we can actually go do something productive, because that ain't going to be it. This is JD Vance's competition up here on your damn screen. This is them. That's them right there. These are the people who are telling us that in 4 years, assuming they're even still alive, that they're going to challenge him. Really? Really? This is what's going on over there now. This is what you're up against. These are the folks who are going to lead us against J.D. Vance, Vivek Ramaswamy. You think they're disorganized over there. You thought it was bad on the Republican side, and it is. You thought it was Game of Thrones over there. Okay, over there, at least it's Game of Thrones. Over here, it's damn me Pet Cemetery. It's Night of the Walking Dead over here. It's like, well, hell, we were doing pretty good over there in Game of Thrones when you think about it. We were actually doing pretty good over there. You get over here and it's like, are you kidding me? And then it's a bunch of chicks sitting up here screeching and squealing at you and yelling at you and things. It's like, what the hell? So this is the opposition.
We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nepo baby.
We are not going to make a...
Don't these women sound like every man's bitter, vicious, vindictive ex-wife? To all my fellas here who've been married, is this not the woman you were in court against who was trying to take the damn house and take visitation of the kids from you? I mean, I'm talking about, and proudly so. I mean, Jasmine Crockett sounds like your baby mama for child support talking about you in front of the judge.
Elon Musk.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses. And we are going to make sure you understand what democracy looks like.
I mean, this sounds like every damn child support hearing from some chick who got her associate's degree. I mean, this is the opposition? I don't even have any children. I'm like, oh, I know this child support hearing. I've seen this one. And I don't even have any children. So every fella in here who's been married, I'm like, yeah, this is your ex-wife, isn't it? This is what you were fighting against in court with. No matter what you say, she's loud, she's angry, she's disagreeable. Yeah, you've seen this before. And you're pretending that you're going to be the opposition to Donald Trump. You're pretending that's what you're going to do. You all have seen Pam Bondi. My goodness, you've seen Tulsi Gabbard. Now imagine this on your screen, screeching and squealing, going up against Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard. Not only is it ugly, it's ridiculous. And the little Asian fella back there, he was looking like that the whole damn time, y'all. The little Asian fella back there, he was looking the same way the whole time, no matter who was saying what. He's just like, look here, is there a white woman I can make a conference with, you know? Is there a white woman I can caucus with? That's what he looks like. He looks like he's looking for, is there a Tea Party I can caucus with? Because yeah, this over here ain't working. He's just like, I'm back here nodding, but it's like, yeah, I'm just waiting for my Republican Party membership papers to go through. As soon as I can get that done, because you notice he done broke out. So, yeah, man, this is what's going on now. This is who's going to fight Trump. Man, are you crazy? I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on. If you were trying to gather and organize people, this is not, if you saw this, you tell me that you feel optimistic? If I told you, hey, I've got some folks we're going to get together. These will be the people we're going to be going out to go fight the opposition with here. And these are savvy political operators there. Oh, well, that's great. Who you got? Who you got?
We will win. We will win. We will win.
Man, you would be like, niggas, you crazy. This is the best you could find me? This is the best you could do? This little old fella right here, you can see him. Oh boy, take a look at him. You can tell he's like, oh, this is over. Oh, this fella right here.
We will win.
Oh, he
have got to tell Elon Musk.
Did y'all see him? He knew. He knew.
You understand what democracy
The little Asian fella, he know.
We will win.
This dude back here, look at him. Watch him stop clapping and just give up. Man, damn this. He knows. He like, man, y'all crazy as hell. How the hell did I get myself in this? I know that expression. That expression is, how in the hell did I get myself into this? How the hell did I end up here? That's what that expression is. How the hell did my life end up here? He can't even pretend that this has any potential whatsoever. He's like, man, look here. Where's my Uber? When that damn Uber gonna hurry up and get here? It's cold. These people crazy as hell. Let me just go buy some stocks and some annuities and just hunker down for the next 4 years. Let me just do that, because this horse ain't going nowhere. This ain't going nowhere. And I could play others. Cory Booker jumped up, and Cory, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that the Democrat Party is in disarray, and that if you would just yell the loudest and yell the most, the energy is going to coalesce around you. My dude, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Not occurring. There are none of you that any energy is coalescing for. It ain't happening. It's a damn sideshow. You don't even have anybody there who is capable or able to pick up the ball from a scramble. You don't have anybody. Gavin Newsom knows he can't say nothing. He's begging Trump for money now. He can't say a damn thing. Even if he could, what the hell he gonna say? He's got a whole damn state burning down over there. Well, who's gonna do it, people? Kamala Harris? Come on now, y'all know she's swimming her way to the bottom of a 40 ounce as we speak. She's like, man, damn that party. Damn you too, Doug. You and these damn kids. Man, look here, it's the weekend. I ain't doing nothing. Nothing. I'm gonna find me some joy. I'm gonna find me some joy at the bottom of this Bacardi. You talking about joy? I got your joy right here at the bottom of this Bacardi. Forget about it, man. It's over. It's done. There's nobody there. They're talking about who's gonna lead the party. Ain't nobody leading the damn party. There's nobody leading the damn party. This is your vice chairman of the party right now. David Hogg is vice chairman, and the other dude, this fella right here, Ken Martin, this is the chairman of the party now. The fella covering his damn face. That's the chairman of the damn party. That him, that went by so damn quick. That's David Hogg. He's your vice chairman. Yeah, this is your vice chairman with Afro Samurai. And here's your chairman over here. So it's like, yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Folks, Donald Trump doesn't have to be the greatest politician ever. The Republicans don't have to be the best organized party ever. They just have to be more organized than this damn rabble over here. That's all they have to do, folks. Donald Trump doesn't have to be a brilliant, savvy operator. He just has to be better than these folk over here. And as you can clearly see, the bar ain't that high. The bar is not that high to beat the Democrats right now. The bar is not very high. Trump doesn't have to do every time people start getting worried about the Republicans and what Trump is doing, they're going to look back over here at the Democrats. That's what they're going to do. They're going to look back over at the Democrats and be like, man, are you kidding me? I think Trump going too far. we need to vote for somebody else next time. Who gonna vote for?
Out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate.
They're gonna run their asses back over to the Trump as fast as, well, Trump is out there. I don't know, is what we gonna do. Okay, Democrats, who are you standing up for?
Any gender, as well as one male and one female, a non-binary vice chair race. We have to elect one male, one female, and one person of any gender. To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules.
This is the opposition. This is what they're focused on. This is what the Democrats are focused on, right? And this is how they're choosing their leadership and how they're choosing their operatives. This is how they're doing it. Right here. They're not talking about issues. They're not talking about strategy. They're not talking about the economy. That didn't come up at all. It's just, what's your pronoun? We all talking about checking people's paperwork. Well, guess what? The Democrats are checking paperwork too. As you can see on their screen. If you are not a theirs, zim, z, they, zim, him. If you ain't one of them, then the Democrats are not really interested in what you got to say. This is where their focus is. You think that you're going to be able to run Trump down in the damn polls? Are you kidding me? It's freaking Barnum and Bailey over there at the Democrats right now, dude. It's Ringling Brothers over there. It's Bozo the Clown, Ronald McDonald. I mean, it reads like a Saturday Night Live skit, but except the horrifying part is, oh, this is real. This is real. They're really doing this. Can you imagine sitting in the room with them talking about, okay, here's how we're going to choose who qualifies as a candidate. And you looking at damn me, Donald Trump talking about there's two genders. Next issue. Think about that for a few moments. Donald Trump wrapped it up in one sentence in 3 seconds. There are only two genders. Next issue. Meanwhile, with the Democrats,
we must elect one male, one female, and one person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race.
While Trump has already moved on to the third and fifth damn issue, they still over here fighting about, well, we got 20 genders and we must make sure that everybody's included. Just in case Billy Porter shows up and with his nicest dress on, we gotta make sure that Billy feels like we see you, Billy. We see you, Billy. You cool with us, Billy. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is turning the whole damn government upside down, and who the hell gonna stop him? These folk? They're gonna stop him? The gang that couldn't shoot straight is gonna stop him? Jed Clampett and the Beverly Hillbillies, they gonna stop him? You think I'm trying to be funny, and I'm like, man, do you see what the hell I see? When Jason Black said almost 2 decades ago, you got to watch out for these old niggas. And I told you all then, hey, the young folk, I'm trying to speak up for you all. Because ain't nobody else gonna do it. These old folk want a peaceful death. They want to be in charge of it all the way to the grave and mess it up. And stick you with the damn bill. They got theirs and they want to stick you with the damn bill while they fail. Chuck Schumer got his, man. Maxine Waters got hers. And they screwing up all over the damn place and they still won't get the hell out the way. So somebody with some damn sense can go ahead and take the wheel. At least that would occur. Because you know what their agenda is. You recognize this bull crap. All they gonna come back talking about is damn me prescription drugs. Oh, look, you're gonna be the first Negro in this job, and you're gonna be the first Negro in this department. And LGBT and illegal aliens, that folks, I mean, they've just, I told you this, remember? I told you this. When I said, hey man, y'all, I said, folks, please understand the Democrats are going to be mad at us. They yelled at us first. They did. They moved on from that. And then I said, they're going to go right back to what they were doing. They're not going to take this seriously. They're going to be, okay, y'all are just venting. Them Negroes are just upset. Don't worry. It's going to get better in 4 years. Folks, come on now. I told you they were not going to change anything. They were going to act like, that didn't hurt. Total denial. They're not going to change anything. They're not going to change anything. They're going to get right back to doing what they were doing. And sure enough, the second they got behind, well, I can't say closed doors, the second they got off by themselves, they went right back to doing what they were doing before. Got Trump's boot prints all up over their asses, and they went right there and, well, you know, we need to be inclusive and there needs to be gender balance here, so it must be one male, one female, one non-binary when there's non-binary available, and then we must make sure that there's 3 women and 3 men so that we are balanced on both sides right there, and then we will choose from those, and that's what we were doing. And meanwhile, Elon Musk and Donald Trump is like, okay, we're going to take Greenland, we're going to take the Gaza Strip, we're going to take a part of Mexico over here. Canada going to be the 51st state. That's what Trump is talking about. Trump is talking about that. He done already kicked all the transsexuals out of women's sports. He just did that this week. You sitting up here posting all these old bull jive ass pronouns. Trump just kicked them all out of damn sports. Y'all going to hold on to it. You know, when we get back up in there, don't worry. We're going to get right back to it. The important things. Focus, nigga, focus. People, listen. Here's the issue. The issue is when you realize that the numbers are not on your damn side, a smart person lets it go. This is not a hill to die on. You've got battles you can actually win. And they hold on to this stuff because the truth of the matter is, let's just call it for what it is. The same-sex thing matters to the Democrats more than winning does. They're like, what good is winning if we can't butt break some niggas? So it's just, they trying to figure out, okay, how we make that thread that needle? There is no point in us fighting or winning if we ain't gonna get to butt break some people. So if we don't get to put a saddle on your damn back, there's no point in doing this. None. You have a political party that is now run by a bunch of sexual degenerates and deviants, and that's all they're concerned about. They're like, look, we're not calling no meeting to attention until we make sure it is very, very clear that butt breaking will be occurring. That is what that's about. The other thing is, can you imagine being at this meeting? Can you imagine being at this conference as a cisgender male? What? Can you imagine being at this conference as a cisgender male, trying to convince everyone that you are not homophobic? So in other words, when one of these dudes who now believes he's a female come up and rub on your leg, well, you don't want to look homophobic, do you? I mean, just because he's got a beard and a goozle bone and he's wearing a dress, I mean, that don't mean he's not a woman. Just ask Mark Lamont Hill. So can you imagine if you are a black male, a cisgender, don't you mean heterosexual, black male who has attended this meeting, attended this damn circus, and one of the transsexuals decides to make his move? Well, I saw you talking to one of the women. It's like, yeah, I like women. You're not. I am a woman. Are you saying I'm not a woman? I mean, this dude is sitting up here looking like Rick Ross, the rapper, telling you that he's a woman and that he went around telling everybody else, you're trans, you're homophobic. You can't vote for him. He's homophobic. He does not accept and respect that I am a woman. He is homophobic. So fellas, can you imagine you in that damn room? If somebody make a move, you don't want to be thought of as homophobic, do you? You surrounded, nigga. Take a look on the screen. That's the code in that room. So if you are in there and somebody make a move, I guess what happened in Vegas stay in Vegas, but if it goes down, so do you. Yeah, I mean, you have a dude sitting up there looking like Teddy Pendergrass, and he, hey, you looking cute over there then. Yeah, I know you had a girlfriend. I'm looking for a boyfriend there. No, I am not homosexual. I am a woman. I am a woman. You don't know. Are you going to tell? Are you disputing the fact that I'm a woman? Are you disputing that? And that's literally what's going on over there right now. You think that this is going to be is going to be opposition to Trump? You think this going to make it? They were already weak and soft and soggy to begin with. You think that's going to make it? Shut the whole damn thing down. Shut the whole stupid damn thing down. That's a wrap, bruh. Take the next 4 years off. You ain't going to get nothing done. If you all agree with me on that, give me the calendar emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. It's over 4,500 people in here live right now. As you are watching how the Democratic Party has become a geriatric freak show. But if you all agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me the calendar emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button for me. I know I got some Democrat folk up in here and they are not happy. They were hoping to see some kind, encouraging words. And there ain't no damn encouraging words when you throw this up here. This was your damn response. You know, we got to be inclusive and we don't want nobody to feel bad. You know what? Why don't you be inclusive after you get some power? Because what this on my screen is a formula for perpetual powerlessness. Can you imagine how you feel right now if you were a donor to the Democrats? Damn! Can you imagine how you feel right now if you were one of the Democrats' donors? You're one of the, like Morgan and Morgan, John Morgan, you gave millions of dollars to the Democrats. Can you imagine how you feel right now? You gave them millions of dollars and then you got to peek in on the damn chairman convention and this was what you saw? While they're staying at their 5-star hotels and spending your damn money. Can you imagine that you did that and this is what you saw your money being spent on? This was the topic of conversation. This was how they were acting up there. This is how they were comporting themselves when you came through.
Hello, Democrats. Hey, I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
And this bizarre moment had people convinced the whole event was one big parody.
And we'll begin with the opening statements. Each candidate will have 30 seconds, and we'll start with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway.
Good evening, everyone. It is my desire to be the next DNC chair. And I just want to give you all a little bit of something that's been on my heart here over the last couple of days. You fight on, you fight on, you fight on, you fight on.
Who in the hell is in charge of the psychological testing for these people? Who is the damn psychologist who does the psych exams before these folk can throw their damn hat in the ring talking about they gonna run something. You heard her. I'd like to be your next chairman, but first I'd like to sing you a little song. Yes, I would like to be your next chairman, but before we do that, excuse me? We came here to discuss being the damn chairman. Yeah, but put that on hold for a minute. I just wanted to let y'all know. Let me bust a little song right quick. And her eyelashes are sticking together like tarantula legs. That's the other thing. It's baby, get an eyelash brush. Come on now. She didn't even try it. She just went out there and she said she ain't got time. So let me stick on these straws we call nails and let me hop up here on the stage. And yes, sir. Unbossed. Is that what that shirt says? Unbossed. All right. So folks, forget about it. The Democrats, if you were expecting them to do anything rational anytime soon, forget about it. Just forget about it. The less they talk, the better. Right now, for the Democrats, the less they talk, the better. Because all they're doing right now is performing. That's it. It's one big performance. It's one big performance, and it is important that we remember that because there are actually some other things going on out there as well. I figured I would go ahead and touch on that also because the folks over there at Sky News, they were talking about somebody else also, and it's important that we keep this in mind. It is important that we keep this in mind because over there at Sky News, yeah, they were talking about the Democrats. They also were talking about something else. They were talking about Kanye West. They were talking about Kanye West and his wife, Bianca Censori, at the Grammys. And while the Democrats are not doing anything about this, by the way, they had a few choice words over there at They had a few choice words over there as well. I want to make sure I don't put nothing up on YouTube that might get me in trouble. Since he, as you know, he brought old girl out there in a see-through outfit that basically was plastic and transparent. Sky News had this to say.
Committed, she needs to have welfare checks. He is mistreating her, that she needs to be committed, she needs to have welfare checks. People have reacted very strongly to what happened today.
Yeah, you and I have had this discussion before. Remember when he kind of shamed Kim Kardashian, saying that she, over-sexualized herself? It's very, but I'm going to say, if I looked like Bianca, it's how I'd grocery shop.
Let me just freeze. Let me just hold that pose right there while you talking about women abused and women needing. I just thought I would just freeze that pose right quick. I'm gonna let y'all make of that what you will here, because she'll be doing this in real time. But I'm just holding this pose for just a moment. Just a moment.
People have reacted very strongly to what happened today.
Yeah, you and I have had this discussion before. Remember when he kind of shamed Kim Kardashian, saying that she, over-sexualized herself? It's very, but I'm going to say, if I looked like Bianca, it's how I'd grocery shop, just like that. I mean, if I looked that good, I'd go to the grocery store looking like her.
Wow, ma'am, make up your mind. So is Kanye in the wrong, or are you like, damn, I would go to the grocery store? Like, so is Kanye making her do something? Because you just said you would do it to go grocery shopping. No Kanye required. So white supremacy, in the words of our now immortal ancestor, Brother Neely Fuller, they want to have it both ways. But you get the point. If you're a black male and it seems like you're directing things, that's the problem. Your presence is the issue, even after she just endorsed it.
Saying that she, over-sexualized herself.
But it gets worse. I want y'all to listen because it actually gets worse.
Very, but I'm going to say, if I looked like Bianca, it's how I'd grocery shop, like that. I mean, if I looked that good, I'd go to the grocery store looking like her. But I want to.
I don't know about that, Kinsey. I reckon she looked bloody haunted. She didn't look happy. She didn't have a sexy look on her face. She looked like.
And you do? Bianca didn't have a sexy look on her face. And you do? Who the hell are you to make that judgment? Rita Panahi? She didn't have a sexy appearance, and you do? What's your credentials? What's your standing to make a judgment?
But I want to.
I don't know about that, Kinsey. I reckon she looked bloody haunted. She didn't look happy. She didn't have a sexy look on her face. She looked like, I don't know, victim of human trafficking. To me, something is.
What? Now you knew that was coming now, didn't you? It is not enough to say that they disagreed with it. Oh no, this little white Indian chick wants to try to flex, I'm white and I say so, why, it's criminal. Now there was nothing criminal. Why, she looks like a victim of human trafficking. So once again, you have the Mann Act. Once again, on the other side of the world, Australia is showing its white supremacist credentials again. Once again, showing miscegenation. Remember, no white woman can consent to anything with a black man, remember? That's the whole idea behind the Mann Act and miscegenation laws. The bottom line is that don't tell us that this white woman willingly chose you, because no white woman in her right mind would willingly choose or prefer a black man to submit to. Therefore, by definition, no white woman can consent. Since no sensible white woman would do it, therefore you're taking advantage of her. And you heard them. It's not enough that they claim to disagree with it. Why, it has to be criminal.
Haunted. She didn't look happy. She didn't have a sexy look on her face. She looked like, I don't know, victim of human trafficking. To me, something is very wrong with.
By the way, did you see the other woman's eyes?
She looked like, I don't know, victim of human trafficking. To me.
Y'all thought Roland Martin was bad. But in any case, yeah, you see what happened there. It's victim of human trafficking. Even the other white woman is like, heifer, please. Really? The other woman is like, are you crazy? What the hell are you talking about? Human trafficking? So once again, they know the rules of white supremacy. It is not enough to just say that you disagree with something. You have to claim that there's something criminal. Because as far as you're concerned, a black man ain't supposed to have that kind of pull. Now, we've been hearing about slave play forever. White men have done this with black women forever. Ain't that right? Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson. White men have done this with black women forever. And that's always okay. That's just the natural order of things. That's all right. A black man, however, has a white woman who is so enamored with him that basically she is his muse and she goes along with whatever the program is. If this were a black woman, they wouldn't say nothing. Diddy was running around forever. Kanye running around forever. When it's a black woman, nobody says anything. But if it's a white woman, once you show a white woman that's submissive to a black man, the optics cannot be allowed to stand. Madonna and the rest of them walking around naked for decades. But if it's a black man who is in demand and the women are doing it to please him, all of a sudden, why, this is illegal. This is criminal. And she's not the only one. Everybody's favorite Jewish white supremacist, Ben Shapiro. Why, of course, if there were a fellow who is completely devoid of testosterone whatsoever, he was unhappy about it, and he wanted to weigh in because, of course, when you're irrelevant, of course, you're going to take it upon yourself to do so. This is what he had to say, and he takes it the extra step.
I can't be a particularly happy person. And speaking of unhappy people, Kanye West, who I have been reliably informed is a deeply religious Christian by all the best sources, this is what a deeply religious Christian would do. Would be to trot out his wife fully naked at the Grammys before being arrested for indecent exposure.
I'm going to say, this is not legal.
Okay, well, first of all, Kanye West was not arrested. No, Newsweek has said nobody's been arrested. Nobody, the LA District Attorney's Office, nobody has said anything about legal action, but these folk kept saying that. So if anybody's seen Kanye West get arrested or his wife get arrested for this, let me know. Because I've checked on it and I haven't seen anything with anybody saying that they got arrested. And by the way, remember, I went to Los Angeles for the Slut Walk. I was there when I did my film Gentrified. I'm sitting there with dozens of police officers out there with women, biological females, young biological females, who they had see-through outfits where you could see everything. And there were two females in particular, but one in specific, she was there with a black male. This white girl was completely topless. She only had on a pair of shorts. She didn't have anything else on. She was one of those free the nipple advocates. So she was out there with some LGBT black male, and she was a free the nipple advocate. She was out there completely topless. She was wearing nothing but a pair of shorts. You can go Google it, as a matter of fact, from the first Slut Walk with Amber Rose. She was completely topless walking down, walking into Pershing Square. Completely topless. And I talked to one of the female police officers out there. I told her, I said, hey, you know, I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, but I'm from Louisiana and I'm pretty sure that this is indecent exposure. Are y'all going to do something? And the female police officer sat there and told me that there's nothing that they could do because the district attorney has determined, you know, that's you can't tell the men that they can walk around topless and not the women. So if they did arrest her, the district attorney would just decline to prosecute. I talked to a female police officer with a bunch of male police officers. They were all looking at me like, I mean, they agreed with me, but they were just like, yeah, this is California. In Louisiana and anywhere else, that's indecent exposure. In California, it's not. So Ben Shapiro is just talking about what he wishes, because you have to understand, when you're dealing with some squirrely, scrawny, beta male cuck dude like this, he just wishes he had the ability to exert himself. So when you're dealing with some noodle neck anorexic clown like this, he's just talking about what he wishes would happen. But then he goes further.
That is not legal. And also, he is a horrifying person. Before she met Kanye, was this her normal mode of dress?
No, definitely not.
He styles her.
And then the way he styles her is by apparently just trotting out his wife completely naked, which makes him a complete piece of shit. I'm sorry, that makes you a complete piece. There's no other way to put that. He's a complete piece of shit. If you like, the disrespect to women is disgusting. Disgusting. He's a terrible person. Like, forget about what he says. Look what he does. Look what he does to this woman.
Yeah.
If you
and
see
I understand she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the only standard of treating people decently. If somebody consents to you beating the shit out of them, you still shouldn't beat the shit out of them. He's a...
Well, did you hear that? Let me back that up.
I'm a complete piece of shit. I'm sorry, that makes you a complete piece. There's no other way to put that. He's a complete piece of shit. If you like, the disrespect to women is disgusting. Disgusting. He's a terrible person. Like, forget about what he says. Look what he does. Look what he does to this woman.
Yeah.
If you
and
see
I understand she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the only standard. And she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the only.
If you
and I understand she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the.
If you
and
see
I understand she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the only. And she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the woman.
Yeah.
If you
and
see
I understand she consents. It doesn't matter. Consent is not the only standard.
Well. Good Jewish principles there. I mean, is he representing, which religion is he representing here? He just sat there and told you that consent doesn't matter. I understand that she consented and it doesn't matter. Well, so it doesn't matter if she can, you're treating her like crap. Excuse me, you're not getting treated like crap if you ask for it and desire it. You have folks out there who practice BDSM and the men who like being humiliated. There are men and women who like being dominated. That's their thing. That makes them feel comfortable. He's telling you that a white woman cannot consent. That he is the one. 82 pounds soaking wet of scrawny, big-headed noodle neck, white supremacist beta male clown, that he's telling you that a white woman cannot consent. I know she consented. I don't care. When she says she consents, that's the end of the discussion, people. Who the hell are you to tell her what she can and cannot consent to? But of course, Ben Shapiro doesn't have that kind of effect on women. There are no women who would ever do that for him, sounding like a strangled mouse. Hey, Ben, if you were not so devoid of testosterone, maybe you would have a voice that sounds like it somehow was able to approach puberty, even if you didn't make it out of it. But yeah, dude, maybe it's that squeaky, screechy ass voice, or maybe it's your failure to grow past 5'4" or something else there. There's a number of different reasons that you don't get the same thing. Maybe it's being a whiny, moany, pathetic white supremacist. Maybe it's that, Ben. Have you looked in the mirror and realized, maybe that's the reason? Maybe you're upset with Kanye because he can get white women to do stuff you just wish you could. He can get white women to do things that you could never in your wildest imagination get. White women that other white women wish they looked like. So she is a white woman who hits all the metrics in white society. Other white women, including your wife, Ben. Damn. Other white women, including your wife.
And deal with it.
Wish they could be her. Wish they could look like that. Your woman wishes she had it like that. And you know it. Which is why you're upset, because a black man's not supposed to be able to get a white female to sit here and supplicate herself that way. This is an insult. This is an unforgivable offense for you, that a black man can get a white woman to travel around the world, and we all know what she was doing overseas in that boat. That a white woman would do this and be smiling and cheesing and come back for more. Meanwhile, you can't get white women to stop throwing rotten fruit at you. Ben Shapiro is mocked and ridiculed by white women when he goes around America. Young white women on college campuses, you are a dork and you are mocked and ridiculed by them. So that's the part that bothers you, and it's always bothered you. And it will continue to bother you because you're not competitive, and there are no females who would say, you know what, I wish Ben Shapiro were here. That's a sentence you will never hear in your life. You'll never hear a female say, you know what, I wish Ben Shapiro were here so that I could come into my full womanhood. That one ain't happening. And it bothers you as it has bothered the weak, lame, white supremacist male throughout history. If you would focus on your own masculinity instead of envying Kanye's, this wouldn't be such of an issue, but it will continue to be an issue because that's who you are. But yeah, they're out there flipping out on the left. They're flipping out over there on the white supremacist right. They are angry as hell. Folks are going nuts. They are sitting up here saying that you black men, it's criminal what you do. It's criminal. Even if the woman says she consents, it's still not folks, whatever happened to yes means yes? Whatever happened to yes means yes? Well, once again, in the 21st century, they're reminding you that yes only means yes if the white males sanction it. But you as a white woman cannot sanction anything with a black man. You cannot consent to anything with a black man. You cannot consent. You see, the reason why they like Van Jones is you ain't seen Van Jones' wife. He doesn't trot her around. He doesn't show her out there. And he certainly does not show that he is dominant in any way, shape, form, fashion, or manner. He doesn't do that. Now you see Donald Trump can do that. Ben Shapiro cheers Donald Trump for doing that. He cheers Donald Trump. Men and women, he cheers Trump for that. But a black man, oh, no. You can't do that. Now Ben is having nightmares. All of his worst anxieties have been brought to the surface. Ben is having nightmares now. Now Ben is like, oh, hell, how am I supposed to sleep tonight? You won't. Yes, sir, this has upset him for the foreseeable future. Oh, he don't know what to do. This is going to have him tossing and turning. This will have him tossing and turning. Yeah, Hugh Hefner had white women get naked for a living. He's walking around wearing a robe and all the white girls, young white females, running around with him completely naked. A black man's not supposed to have that. Jack Johnson, James Brown, Michael Jackson, Bill Cosby, Michael B. Jordan. A black man's not supposed to have that. Remember the newspaper article about Jack Johnson and unforgivable blackness? It was warning all Negroes everywhere. Don't let Jack Johnson's victory in the ring fool the rest of you into believing that you've achieved a higher station in life. You are still where you've been. So don't let yourself, just because Kanye can do that, he shouldn't be deceived that that's the norm. So this is the issue that you have here, and I wanted to play that for you all so that you can see that, by the way, these are a bunch of other folk who ain't got a damn thing to do with Kanye West's marriage, and here they are saying that this is criminal. They didn't just say they disagree with it. No, this is criminal. He shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's what Ben Shapiro and this other scallywag over here said, that Kanye West shouldn't be allowed to do that. How dare you put that imagery? You shouldn't be allowed to do it. You've never seen them say that a white man shouldn't be allowed to do anything with a black woman. A white man can do anything with a black woman that he chooses to, and she has no say in the matter and cannot object. If he tells you she consented, oh, well, black females just freaky like that. White females, oh, you can't consent. We don't care what she said. Ben Shapiro just said, I don't care what I don't care if she consents. Oh, let the real thing come out. Let the real thing come out. Say what you really mean. I just did a program last week where I said that MAGA is blaming white women. Folks, when I talked about that, this is what I meant. I was talking about this, that you white women are getting too damn far out of pocket. And the white men are now reasserting themselves and saying, look here, you don't get a choice in the matter. You don't get to choose somebody other than us. You don't get to do that. We are letting you know you don't get to make that decision. You don't have the authority to be able to consent to that decision. We don't care that you're 30 or 36 years old. You can't say yes to that. You don't get to present yourself and display your whiteness like this. You're white. You don't get to be white and display yourself this way. Not at all. So I just wanted you all to hear the voices out there that are saying that. and telling you in no uncertain terms that you are not allowed to consent. And this is not 50 years ago or 100 years ago. This is today. That it's criminal, that we will declare it criminal. That even if you can get the woman to say she wants to be there and she consents, well, no. You're not going to rub our faces in it there. Yes, indeed. However, you might disagree. Therefore, we're going to go ahead and open up the Zoom for all of you to go ahead and be able to call in. So you'll have the option of doing that here as well, just in case you want to sound off on that. Also, I want to thank everyone, and I do mean everybody who's contributed for tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Shout out here to Nancy King. Thank you very much for your support. My man Kassan Kelly has bought some memberships. Cornell Sly has bought 20 memberships for folks. So thank you very much there, brother. The gift that keeps on giving. Black to Death has bought some there as well. My man Mark B, Mr. Rich Berg, as always, thank you very much for your support also. We're going to go ahead and take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, we'll see about taking a few of your phone calls and more. This is the Black Channel.
When you visit MrBeTheTeacher.com, you can get a copy of his award-winning book, Guidelines for the Successful Student. While you're there, grab one of his newest tunes along with fun and educational lyric videos.
Never give up, don't worry, never give up, study. In order to times 1 is 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times swap names, he, she, they, and we. Simplify the daddy divides as the father and guide. Money multiplies and shares of what they buy.
You can also acquire his tutoring services via varsitytutors.com or tutor.com. If you wish to speak to Steve Burgess directly, you can do so through MrBeTheTeacher.com.
The Honey Badger and the Mongoose is a children's story for the family of how a honey badger and mongoose fight an evil alliance of venomous cobra, snakes, and hyenas that overhauls the balance of the savannah. The Big Five. The honey badger demands reparations. Will the Big Five give the honey badger reparations? Can the evil alliance of cobras and hyenas be stopped? The best new price for the hard and soft cover is at www.thehoneyBadgerandthemongoose.com. You can also find this book at Amazon, Audible, and Kindle.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Body Butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening, and the link for Zoom is open. You are more than welcome to give us a call up on Zoom tonight. Please remember, just make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. Everyone else will not see you. I'll be the only one who will. But just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, just make sure you have your camera and your microphone turned on. Speaking of which, here, Tabitha Foster is going to give us a call up here on Zoom. So you have 2 minutes here. She's got a lot she would like to tell us about tonight's program and the content thereof. So Tabitha is going to give us a dial up, and she is going to educate us all about what parts of this we are not understanding. All right, for those of you who are not aware, weren't watching, missed the first part of the program here for whatever reason there, oh boy, the Democratic Party has become a geriatric sideshow. cringe is not a adequate enough word for what in the world we've been witnessing here. Donald Trump is running roughshod and the Democrats are running crazy. It's absolute bedlam out here. It is nonsense. This is no way to mount a counteroffensive. I don't even think they know that there is a counteroffensive going on. They've been out here just saying anything and everything. You've given them an opportunity to prove that they could do better than that, and no, they haven't. Earlier this week, Elon Musk and friends, they're dismantling USAID. They're going to the FBI. They're going to the Treasury Department. And the Democrats got together for a little protest. And man, oh man, if you missed it, if you hadn't seen it, all I can say is brace yourselves for maximum cringe.
We will not take this. We will fight back. Fight back. Fight back. And as I close out, because I know we've been out here for a long time, and goddamn it, shut down the Senate. We are at war. We will see you in the courts, in Congress, in the streets. Elon Musk is a Nazi nutball baby.
We are not going to make America great again by making America hate again. We are going to stand and fight. All across America, people are knocked down, but they are getting up, and they are going to fight the dictator of Donald Trump and his henchman, Elon Musk.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your asses, and we are going to make sure, you understand what democracy looks like. This ain't it.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass.
Yep. If you want to know what the Democrats' response was to Donald Trump and Elon Musk taking a hatchet to everything, you want to know what their response was? You just heard it. And take a look at these faces over here. This brother over here gets it. The Asian dude gets it. I mean, they understand.
We'll win. We have got to tell
Take a look at the brother
Musk,
over here. He gets it.
Nobody elected your ass.
He gets. Oh, and was that old dude's cane swung in front of the damn camera at the end?
Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass. Your ass.
Old boy's cane made a damn cameo. Old dude's cane made a cameo. There he is over there. I think he was the guy who was bragging that he introduced the articles of impeachment. You know he's done it again, right? What? You know that he's trying to get Trump impeached again, right? This is his contribution. I organized the first impeachment articles against Trump, and I'm doing it again. Okay, this is, Al Green, which, by the way, I get it. Double entendre, but Representative Al Green, He's raising Cain, you said? He's raising Cain, literally. This is him putting on the damn show. These old niggas with their hair conked back and things, so he's just swinging that damn cane. Nothing says youthful and vibrant like swinging your walking cane around, right? Nothing says youthful and vibrant like swinging your walking cane. But the party's a damn joke, dude. The party is a joke. Give it up. Just give it up. It's a damn joke. Let's go ahead and hop over here on Zoom. Let's go ahead and get over here on Zoom, people. If you're a Democrat, it's just going to be a long 4 years. All right, we got Vince over here on Zoom. Vince, what's on your mind?
Yes, sir. Hey, it's so embarrassing. The Democrats, they are ridiculous. I don't know how anybody takes them seriously because all they do is pander to immigrants and gays, and it's to the point now that anybody that supports them, I can't even take them seriously. The men that support them, I look at them, I'm like, I always question their manhood. It's like, what exactly are you supporting? It's like you say, the old niggas, if you're not an old nigga or one of those bootlicks, Greek worshiping niggas, it's like, that's the only people that seem to, for the most part, to really support them. But after that, it's like, it's I don't know how much. I don't know how many elections it's gonna take for them to lose.
No, it's gonna. Like I say, you're gonna have to have at least one more, most likely two more. Look, all the men left. The Democrat Party has become like the black church. All the men left. The actual masculine men left. Whatever females don't identify as LGBT, they looking for the exits now. So that's all you have. You don't have a political party anymore. You have an LGBT movement. That's what you have. And it's basically become a comedy show. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Dana up here on Zoom. Let me go ahead and get Dana. All right, we got Dana here on Zoom. Dana, what's on your mind?
Good evening, sir.
Hello, Dana.
Hi, I've called before.
I know. I recognize she look a little bit different now. What she say? I'm glammed up this time, Jason. You ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna get easy jokes this time.
So with them doing away with DEI, I had like an epiphany, like this is actually a very good thing for our family because it'll give us the opportunity. I mean, at this point, we're forced to work together. We can't keep going to them saying, oh, give us a job. Don't you have to meet those quotas? They're trying to put us off into segregation they've gutted all them federal jobs. I watched today. They're trying to put one of Trump's buddies up for the FBI director. And we're in trouble as far as trying to continue to beg them for anything.
Well, here's the real thing. Anybody out there who's thinking that there's a white zaddy that they're going to cooperate with, which has been the issue we've been having, is individuals out there, the so-called black feminists, the coon paparazzi, bedwench society, that they told themselves they're not black, they're LGBT, they're not black, they're female, they're not black, they're feminist. Yeah, they don't have anybody to align with now. Reality is coming to view. There's nobody for them to ally with against the rest of us. That's what's happened. And as you said, this is good. This is exactly what I've been saying now for over a decade. I have no fear of this whatsoever. I want the lines to be very clearly drawn. I want the situation to be black and white. There's no ambiguity. There's no argument. There's no misunderstanding. You're either on our side or you're over there. It's just that simple. You're either over here with us or you're over there with them. It couldn't be any more clear, and this is exactly what we need. Now, the DEI programs, like I say, didn't necessarily do a whole lot for us, but that's not the issue. The issue is the DEI not as a program, but DEI as a political slogan. Right. DEI is a political argument because anybody talking about, quote, again, there's always a code word for niggas. There's always a code word for that. So when they say DEI, that's their way of saying ain't no racism. There's no racism. There's no white supremacy. We don't have to fight white supremacy because there is no white supremacy. So that's the whole point of them saying that. So I'm not worried about DEI's programs. The real thing is about when they mention it, they're mentioning it as a slogan and a slur. And I want them to be clear about that too, because when the pendulum swings back the other way, all the folks who've been carrying that particular banner, they'll be trying to run from it when things go back the other way. But I want them to go 10 toes down. I want them to go hip deep off in it. I want them to do that so that they can't walk backwards from it.
Prayerfully, we will come together and say, look, they don't want our products in their stores. Target done said they don't want our dollars. All these other companies were saying, we're good on y'all. So let's start working together as far as that's concerned. And then out here in California, Gavin Newsom just allocated like $50 million to fight the extradition or the exilement, whatever they're doing with these, illegals. And so they've been protesting up and down the streets and the freeways. And it seems like, they feel as though, if we can get to California, we might be able to stay. So we've seen a surge of them here now. But they're acting a lot more cooperative, a lot more friendly. Hi, how you doing? Well, normally it was mean mugs and shoulder shrugs. But That's all I wanted to say. I hope that this does push us together, this whole DEI thing. And just thank you for what you do. I really, really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for your support, sister. We appreciate that. Let me go ahead and get to Terry here. Let me see if we can go ahead and grab Terry here on Zoom. Okay, we got Terry on Zoom. Terry, what's on your mind?
I have two things. Oh, and could you tell everybody I'm Black? Because the last time I was on, like years ago, the chat exploded. They thought I was white, which I'm not.
Terry is Black, y'all. She looks like Julianne Malveaux, but she is Black. So what's on your mind, Terry?
Thank you. So I have two questions. One of them, I'm wondering, especially since the election, since things on the platforms of so many parties seem to contradict each other as what a person would choose. Do you think that's by design? So we get all confused and don't know who to support. And the other thing, I have a question about Baton Rouge. I'm from Baton Rouge. And I think last week you were saying something that the people in Baton Rouge, you can't reach them for some reason, because I would be very interested, in talking to people and getting groups here and things. But I'm kind of wondering what you meant by that and what can be done or can't be done.
Okay, well, to your first question, when you're dealing with organized political parties, Simone Sanders is the poster child for how it works. I'm the guy who sat up here and showed you all because I remembered. I'm like, wasn't she a teenager taking pictures with Bill Clinton? So what I'm saying is that whether it's Simone Sanders, Barack Obama, Elijah Cummings, they don't just pick you out of nowhere. They've been following you for years or decades. Brandon Johnson up there in Chicago, they've been following you for years or decades. They're not going to support wild cards. They're going to support known quantities. So
That's
these
true.
people, they get debuted to us. They sit up here and groom them and shape them and bring us some money people and assume them, don't worry, this is our next Negro puppet. They know how to talk to their people and get them in line. And then they debut them to us. Somebody that ain't none of us heard of. He hadn't walked with any of us or anything, but next thing you know, he's on the ballot and he's at the damn top of it, and the news media is telling you he's number one in the polls. And you never heard of him before today. So that's the way that they deal with us. Kamala Harris, we didn't know a damn thing about this woman. Here come the Democrats. Ooh, she one of y'all. She been doing HBCU. So that's how politics is treated with us. Okay. Our whole thing is that now we're rejecting that. We're not letting anybody just shove somebody in front of us. It's like, we got to check the paperwork. Where'd you come from? Who your people? Where you at? Who sent you? If we don't know who the hell you are, we asking a bunch of questions. We're not going to have them debut any more people and say, here's your newly appointed representative. Because don't they look like you? So that one's out the window. That's been a hell of a shock to the system. They told themselves that they were going to replace the black vote with illegal aliens and LGBT. That went badly. And it's like, that's going up badly. Trump is currently deporting your electorate. So that went left real quick there. As far as South Louisiana, the issue is South Louisiana in a lot of ways, you're dealing with the state's capital down there. State capitals are always particularly difficult to deal with because by their definition, they tend to be international cities in that, if you want to deal with the government of Louisiana, you need to be in Baton Rouge. If you want to deal with the government of Georgia, you need to be in Atlanta. If you want to deal with the government of Florida, you got to be in Tallahassee. Even though all the action is in Miami, you're not going to get anything done if you don't go to Tallahassee on a statewide level. So state capitals always tend to be difficult. State capitals tend to be places where they concentrate trying to distract people and get them focused on other things. So when you hear Baton Rouge talking about being a damn black folk down there,
no.
You didn't protect Alton Sterling down there. So it's like, who in the hell are you? Who brought you? And if we start checking folks' paperwork, you see that's an issue. The issue I have with South Louisiana is there's a lot good that goes on down there, but by the same token, it also has an element like Atlanta where Negroes want to be performing all the time. They need to be most on guard and most vigilant, and you got half business and half bull jiving. And it tends to be a magnet for that kind of thing and be very, very focused on that. So you can't just be of the vibe of, we're from Interstate 10 and we're from Baton Rouge and listen to my demo. That's the issue that we have in South Louisiana. It's been very easily distracted. New Orleans is the poster child for that in many ways. You know, you bring your festivals there, the saints are there, so you have a lot of stuff distracting you that you're hanging your hat on to be, quote, proud of. Meanwhile, you don't own anything or control anything, and where's the agenda? That's the issue. So that's what tends to happen in South Louisiana. So getting them on code has proven to be particularly difficult, which is not an issue that you have to that extent in Central Louisiana and Northern Louisiana. Not nearly to the same extent.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your insight on that.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Like I say, and we got to get them on code for that, because those are big centers down there and stuff. But that's the reason why you got folk like, you know, Gary Chambers trotting around there and things. So that's the whole reason why it's very, very important to get their house in order for that. We don't need more weed smoking. We don't need more partying and bull jiving. We got to have folks up to code. All right, let me go ahead and get Huey Freeman up here on Zoom. All right, we got Huey here on Zoom. What's on your mind, Huey?
What's up, Brother Black? It's gonna be an interesting year. It's gonna be couch 2028 because Democrats ain't gonna get off the same playbook. And I also want to address Mr. Ben Shapiro. I'm surprised that you have more smoke for Kanye West and what he does with his wife, woman, or whatever, but you didn't have that same energy that Elon Musk, who was throwing up the Adolf Hitler sign on national television.
Well, I mean, now that you all mention it, wasn't Elon Musk standing next to Kanye West when Kanye West went on his original anti-Jewish screed before? They were talking about Elon and Kanye at the same time. And I mentioned that then. I talked about it then, like, he got too much money for y'all to cancel him, and he owns the damn X, so you're not going to be able to stop him. But by the way, yeah, wasn't they talking about Elon Musk and Kanye West were the anti-Jewish duo back then? So all of a sudden it's just Kanye? What happened to Elon? So that's not anything new. I pointed out years ago back in 2022 when they first came out against Kanye, I pointed it out then. Now all of us, Ben Shapiro's done gave that a total pass. He has given that a complete and total pass, which usually means that money doesn't change hands.
Exactly. And our brother Neely Fuller always says white supremacy is the only religion, it's the only powerful religion out there, because he went after Kanye West, but yeah, he didn't have any smoke for Mr. Elon Musk when he was doing his whole salute. So at that point, like, anyone who's basically saying that, you know, we're being anti-Semitic is like, no. You better go after Mr. Musk over there. He's throwing up freaking whole signs up there.
You can't. Here's the problem. You can't do that. And the reason you can't do that is because Elon Musk can literally go and adjust the algorithm on X just a little bit and turn the rest, just like he got society behind Trump, he can adjust that algorithm and adjust the conversation against Jewish folk. A few presses of a few buttons, and he can turn that algorithm whichever way he wants it.
Yeah, good point. And
Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire and them, they haven't been able to count on YouTube for their promotion. Facebook froze them out and stuff. So Twitter's been the only place they've really been able to move like they really want to move without a bunch of impediments. But if he turns a dial, yeah, he can quiet you down over there too.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, I'm going to land my plane here, man. But Democrats, that couch, it looks like the couch going to win again.
It's going to be a long, ugly 4 years if you're a Democrat. Long, ugly 4 years. All right, let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom. We got Brother Elijah over here on Zoom. Brother Elijah, what's on your mind?
Hey, good evening, big brother Jason. How you doing? Hey, D1 to you and the family. Excellent broadcast. I got a question with this whole Democratic nonsense. Do you predict, because you're the master at politics, do you predict that there will be a Democratic Party within the next, I'll give a give or take 25 to 50 years with the rate they're going at right now.
No, it won't take that far along. The Democrats are going to pivot. I said this before. First of all, history has already shown this at least 2 times. JFK back in the 60s and Bill Clinton in the 90s. So I said this here before when a couple of years ago here, I said that Nancy Pelosi and them, as they're losing to Donald Trump, you're going to see the Democratic Party become more right-wing. So the James Carvilles and whatnot are going to eventually end up holding sway. They're going to have to. Right. Because nothing else is working and the rest of these folk are too weak. And the problem is not that you don't have enough LGBT folk. The problem is your policies. That's the problem. Right. So you're not pleasing us over here in the black base, and you're not pleasing the white so-called working class, your swing vote either. They'll have no choice. And what's going to happen is there's going to be somebody who's going to be like a Bill Clinton, some guy who's more to the left, more to the right than they are right now. That's the only thing that's going to bring them out. Another Northeastern liberal talking about the joys of abortion and transgender bathrooms. That's the kiss of death. Nobody's checking for that. So look for somebody to repeat what Bill Clinton did. All those issues, tough on crime, traditional values, even if it's cheating on your wife. It's all about the economy. Look for that. That's what you're looking for next.
So what you're saying, big brother, is unfortunately Bill Clinton was the last example of masculinity, no matter how we measure it.
No, Barack Obama would have been the last one.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that Bill Clinton was the change in the turn. After Lyndon Johnson, you really had a very weak Democrat Party. So
even Mr. Jimmy Carter?
Jimmy Carter was the epitome of weakness. The only reason that Jimmy Carter got elected was because Nixon. So remember, we come out of the Watergate scandal. Nixon resigns, Gerald Ford becomes president, but Jimmy Carter is elected after that. So it is the failure of Richard Nixon and him resigning. That's what got the nation didn't want nothing to do with Republicans after that. Okay, Jimmy Carter gets into office. You have the oil embargo. So the Arabs go nuts and they have the oil. Many of us were either too young to remember or weren't born. So y'all don't remember the gas lines. There were tremendous gas lines because the Arabs had an oil embargo against the United States, once again behind Israel. And there were gas lines all over the damn place. Jimmy Carter was president. You had the Iranians took the students hostage over there, remember? They took the students hostage, the American students hostage. Anybody who saw the Chuck Norris movie Delta Force, that was actually based on those events at the beginning. Because that's what happened. They tried to rescue them and the helicopters crashed in the dust storm. So when you deal with that, you're talking about inflation, oil. Jimmy Carter was a nice guy, but the American people did not consider him to be a good president. Yeah, you're not Richard Nixon, but we were like, ooh, hell, we went from bad to worse. In many ways, he was not. He had a foreign policy crisis, and he didn't look like he was handling it at all. You had an economic crisis, and he was not handling that very well at all. So he was not assertive, and he wasn't in command. And when things start falling apart, it's gonna roll uphill. And that's who got stuck with the blame of it was Jimmy Carter. So also, by the way, he gave back the Panama Canal, which now America is fighting over because China got his hooks. America built the Panama Canal and Jimmy Carter gave it to Panama. Well, now China's got his hooks in it and Trump is sitting over there trying to wrestle that away. That was Jimmy Carter too. So Jimmy Carter was a nice dude. And there's a whole bunch of old black folks who remember him fondly, but that's because it was between that and white supremacists kicking your ass. And Jimmy Carter was one of those Democrats who wasn't overtly racist. So a lot of old black folks remember him fondly because he was a white man who wasn't overtly racist. But Jimmy Carter's weakness paved the way for Ronald Wilson Reagan. Right. When Barry Goldwater lost, And Reagan basically was the second coming of Goldwater. And all the things that Goldwater ran on, Ronald Reagan refined it a bit and came out of California with a head full of steam and won in a landslide. So Jimmy Carter was the nail. It was a real bellwether of the weakness of the Democratic Party. And that kept going all the way through Walter Mondale, Michael Dukakis, until finally Bill Clinton, a Southern Democrat, not one of these Northeast, even though Jimmy Carter was from Georgia, but a Southern Democrat who realized, yeah, this has got to be different. And him and Al Gore, go take a look at their campaign commercials. They were the new Democrats. And they were like, we're cutting government waste and wasteful spending. We're tough on crime. We're big on America's defense. So they were basically running against the Republicans. And because George W. Bush had reneged on his promise of no new taxes, he upset a lot of conservatives because of that. And then Gulf War I. So between those two things, he was seen as failing at late Reagan's legacy. And that was what paved the way for a young Bill Clinton to ease his way and be able to shoehorn his way in, which is what worked. But he was the opposite of Jimmy Carter and Walter Mondale and Mike Dukakis.
Right.
So this was going to be a Democrat who could outdo the Republicans on certain key issues. That was when it made a turn. Barack Obama is the second chapter of that. The problem has been since then. Donald Trump is something we'd never seen before. He is a populist. We haven't seen a real populist since Teddy Roosevelt. Donald Trump is a fellow he's a showman, he's a salesman, but he hasn't positioned himself as a Democrat or Republican. He's really a populist. Whatever you want, he wants. And he's better at selling that he truly believes it. The reason that Donald Trump has won the presidency not once but twice is because he understands in today's era, you can't really have you can go out with your manicured, propped up, fabricated media products that you call politicians. But people today don't like that. They want authenticity. And whether you like Donald Trump or not, there's one thing you do believe. You believe he's authentic. You believe he really does believe the stuff he's saying and doing. You think he's real, even if you don't agree with him. You don't get any of that from the Democrats. What you get is the only thing they're real about is holding on to power and holding on to their little goodies. You don't believe them when they say they're looking out for you, or that what you believe is what they believe. You don't believe them. So no, brother, JFK was the first turn of getting the Democrats straightened again. Lost it with Jimmy Carter all the way to Mike Dukakis. Bill Clinton rights the ship again by showing that, well, let's take this thing back to the right. And then with the pause with George W. Bush as president, Barack Obama comes back and hits on all cylinders again. And the party has been listless ever since. Barack Obama was the last time you had anything even resembling it. And they have just been adrift ever since. The Democrats would have been far better off if Joe Biden had lost the election in 2020. We can all agree on that. Yes, they'd have been better off if he had lost. Remember, if he never gets elected, you can't blame the Democrats for all the bad things that have occurred. By him and Kamala Harris winning, you've now started running up the scoreboard of negative incidents again. Right. So at least if they had lost, you couldn't point and say, look what they screwed up, look what they screwed up, look what they screwed up, because they wouldn't have even been there. They'd have been better off if Biden had lost 2020 and they ran again in 2024. They'd been better off instead of letting him get in office and take a look at what he did. They'd have been better off having nothing than to have what they had. At least they would have been able to just pick up where they left off with Barack Obama. Biden set them back 20 years.
Wow.
They are back where they were during the Mike Dukakis days. They're back there. The Democrats were better off when John Kerry lost the election in 2004.
Right.
Yeah, you were in better shape then, because at least you're not going to rack up any more negatives. Joe Biden winning, spotlight's all on you, which is great if everything's going good. But by a fail that epic and a blunder this tremendous and an administration this so damn inept, you set them back to the days of Mike Dukakis. And they're going to have to find another Bill Clinton now. You messed up. Joe Biden started it and Kamala Harris put the damn whipped cream and the cherry on top of it. That wasn't a fluke and that wasn't an accident. And you're not going to be able to tell people that you were just misunderstood. So they've been set back at least 20 years. We're at least 20 years. And by that, I'm talking about like at least to the days, the fumbling of Al Gore and John Kerry, at least there. But spiritually, you're really back more like almost 40 years. You're really back. You're really back more like 35 years to the days of Mike Dukakis. But I'll be generous and say in 20 years, literally 20 years, but you're really back 35.
Right.
And that's what James Carville is saying. James Carville is agreeing with me that, yeah, they're really back at that again.
Right. So it's basically safe to say Mr. Vance, J.D. Vance, is going to be the president after Mr. Trump.
I don't know.
Oh.
We don't know. I mean, look, Ron DeSantis is so obviously nakedly preparing for another presidential run. He's making as much noise as he possibly can down there in Florida. He thinks he's running for president in 2028. He's not, but he just thinks he is. Vivek Ramaswamy probably tells himself he is. He's not. He just thinks he is. Marco Rubio. Now, that's one to watch. The only thing that would keep Marco Rubio from running for president in 2028 is if J.D. Vance makes him his running mate in 2028, which would be a smart move for him to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump set that up already and said, look, Marco, here's the way it's going to be. I'm winning now. J.D. going to take it in 2028. You're going to be his vice president, and then you get to run after him. And the party going to be behind you. But you better take this deal because this is the best deal coming.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to have to fight us, and you saw what happened last time. So I suggest you get on board because this is the last train leaving. So that's what I believe is going to occur. But J.D. Vance is not going to have it just handed to him. He has a bunch of folk who are not happy. 4 years is a very long time to keep people happy with you. Here's the bottom line. The Republicans are far more organized for who their next standard bearer will be than the Democrats are right now. I mean, right now, the front runners in the Democrat Party are, I think, Gavin Newsom, Yogi Bear, and Bugs Bunny.
Deal with it, nigga.
Those are the three front runners in the Democrat Party right now, so far as I can tell. If it changes, I'll let you know. I'll let you have the last word.
Hey, big brother. Look, thanks for tonight's broadcast. And look, as you said, and I'm gonna land my plane after. As you said, where is Gavin Newsom going? His name is mud out here in these streets after that reparations debacle. So where he thinks he's going, it's over. So I don't know what to say. He's not going.
He's hoping that if he lays low, memories will fade. Right now, Gavin Newsom does not believe that there is anything good that is going to happen for him. Gavin Newsom is simply betting that Donald Trump is going to mess up so badly that once again, like Jimmy Carter after Richard Nixon, that the country will scramble for something different. The way that the country scrambled for something different after Joe Biden screwed up so bad. Right. Gavin Newsom is hoping that the pendulum will swing back the other way like it did in 2020, and that he'll be a bastard, but he'll be your bastard, and he'll be different, and he'll beat out the other competition by that. That's really the only lane he has open. It will not be because people want him. It'll only be because the alternative would have to be so outrageously undesirable and intolerable.
Right. All right, B1, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. That's what Gavin Newsom is hedging all his bets on. That Trump will mess up so badly. And by the way, it could happen. Somebody said Jasmine Crockett is too dark to be picked. I mean, her job is to be, they chose her. I said this before. She is their attack dog to go at Marjorie Taylor Greene. So they figure Marjorie Taylor Greene is their blonde to say outrageous things. The Democrat Party has chosen Jasmine Crockett to be their female attack dog, to be the answer to Marjorie Taylor Greene. So But other than being a Jerry Springer sideshow, that's all she is. That's all she is. She's not serious, nor is she to be taken seriously. All right, let's go ahead and get over here on Zoom. We got Michael over here on Zoom. Michael, what's on your mind?
Good evening. The only thing I can say to Ben Shapiro is it's a free country. Brass tacks. I think that so far the Democratic nominees would either be Fetterman, Moore, Newsom, Shapiro, or Whitmore. And those are going to be the people we're going to have to present this Black agenda in front of. Now, as I understand it, Black Americans are delineating and calling themselves FBA, and they should be the only ones entitled to reparations. But they weren't the only ones who came over on those slave ships that were Black. The Black Hebrew Israelites are a different lineage, but if should reparations become a reality, they should also be eligible because they were enslaved too. And they were, so this whole thing about, just FBAs, I think we kind of need to rethink that.
No.
And your reason being?
Thank you for giving us a call. No. Let me get called from area code. Let me go ahead and get Zate up here on Zoom. All right, brother Zate up here on Zoom. Brother Zate, what's on your mind?
How you doing, brother Jason? Yeah, I just want to say, man, it's crazy how we got them in a scramble right now. And right now they talking about, they speaking war talk, and it's so crazy because they either too old and senile or too young and stupid to realize that we done already shot the first bullet. We done already started our plan. It's like one of the first things you do in war is you cut off the food supply of your enemy. They don't even understand that they not fighting against Elon or Trump or the Republicans. They fighting against us, the people. And once they realize that, hey, until you start coming to us, listen to us and what we want you to do, it'll be raining red in their office until the day that you realize that, hey, you got to come to us. Everything runs through us. And like I said, they don't even understand that we done already fired the first shot.
Well, look, I mean, we've given them, a century of taking us for granted? That all they got to do is show up and we're going to vote for them no matter what because we are afraid of the alternative. That's the only thing they've been selling us is, well, the alternative, we do you bad, but the alternative really going to get you if you don't support us. And this is the first time we made it clear to them we're consciously saying, yeah, you're not going to pull that one this time. We're going to take the alternative and let the alternative run things. And we'll check back with you in 4 years and see if you make a change because we won't. Brother, the civil rights generation did not do this. Every time they said jump, the civil rights generation said ha ha. So this is us correcting their attitude. This is brand new to them. Brand new. They've never experienced this before from us. So that's why I said this is going to be an educational effort because they don't take us seriously. The civil rights generation would sometimes be a little upset, but they always could count on them to, after they're finished venting, they're going to go back to doing what they were doing. So when we did it, they just assumed it was the same old, same old. And that's why they sent out Roland Martin and Simone Sanders to talk to us where they did the civil rights folk. Well, that worked with them. That kind of talking and sassing us and talking to us like it's a plantation, that worked on the civil rights generation. They tried it with us and we said, nigga, who you think you talking to? And then there's like, ooh, hell, this past election has shown them there's a whole lot of registered Negroes who are not going to get paid for consulting anymore because the white folk who run the Democrat Party realized, yeah, that's not working. There wasn't a fluke. They didn't misunderstand you. Your way doesn't work. You told us it would, and the truth is it doesn't work. So they're not going to be running back to you for help anymore. And I predicted that also. So yeah, brother, we've given them a whole lot of time of taking us for granted. Now they're having is an educational effort, but one election cycle is not going to do it. I've always said from the very beginning, it's going to take at least 2, probably 3 election cycles before they finally give up and say, okay, this isn't a fluke. It's not a misunderstanding. You niggas is different. And we're going to have to move differently with you if we want to get anything. Ah, damn it. All right, what do you niggas want?
Yes, sir.
So please understand that's the way it will happen. It will be begrudging. It will be frustrating. It will be with disharmony and angst and rancor. That's what it will be with. It will not be happy people holding hands like Chuck Schumer and Maxine Waters. It's going to be, damn it, what do you niggas want? All right, what is it? Damn it. It's going to be that. You'll know when they're serious when we hear that. All this other stuff, no. So like I said, when we talk about these politicians and stuff sitting up here and folks like, ooh, they sound hostile to this, that, and the other, I'm like, that's actually the good news. The problem we've had is folks smiling on our faces. That's been the problem. That's not real. The real thing is when they're talking crazy to us. There's the real thing right there. Our job is how we're going to respond to it. Once they see we're responding differently, it's like, that they talk crazy. And we're like, wrong answer. Really? Yeah, wrong answer. That's what's going to change things. And that part has begun. I'll let you have the last word.
I just want to say, man, shout out to everybody out here who been following the new black media. It's only been one election cycle with Trump in. And it seems like they can already tell the writings on the wall. Look, they facing extinction right now, and they too scared to say it out loud, but they whispering in them corners. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Folks, y'all got to understand, ain't no money moving right now. There's no money moving. Okay, listen to me, people. I'm not making this up as I go along. I'm telling you, these are the empirical facts. Who gave Van Jones that $100 million? What? Damn! No. Jason Black is not making this up as I go along. Who gave Van Jones that $100 million? Who did that? Oh, yeah, that was Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos gave Van Jones $100 million. Where was Jeff Bezos 2 weeks ago? Damn! Yeah, we know where he was before. By the way, where was Jeff Bezos 2 weeks ago, y'all? Where was he 2 weeks ago? We know where he was 4 years ago. Where was Jeff 2 weeks ago? Oh, he was booed up with Trump and them. I'll be damned. You think Jeff is throwing any money the Democrats' way right now? See, he threw $100 million at Van Jones. Do you think that Jeff is throwing no big dollars over there right now? I'm telling you, the money done dried up. The stuff they used to get, the money done dried all the way up right now, and it's going to be dry for the next 4 years. That's a long damn time to be living on sardines and crackers. The money gonna be light for the next 4 years. For a lot of folk, ain't gonna be no money at all. They gonna be fishing their resumes to CNN, if you can keep CNN on the damn air. They gonna be trying to start podcasts. They're gonna be trying to start newsletters. They're gonna be going around the foundations and see if there's a brother, can you spare a dime? Folks, the money gonna be low. It's going to be 4 long years. So unless you're Chuck Schumer and Maxine Waters, you done already sponged all the damn money. Unless you're Nancy Pelosi and you got a stock market scam and insider trading, you ain't going to make nothing happen. You're not going to make nothing happen. It's going to be a dry 4 years. And it just started, and y'all can already see, damn, they done already turned the damn spigots off. It's already drying up, and we're barely a month. We're not even 1 month in. We are not even 30 calendar days in, and you can already see the money drying up. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's why I gave a bunch of Van Jones. You all watched that. You saw Van Jones get $100 million. Not a one of you thinks that there's another $100 million going to anybody. Mark Zuckerberg ain't throwing it. Ain't nobody doing it. Everybody holding on to their pockets right now. Everybody who got $100 million, they ain't throwing nothing around. Everybody is sitting on their bread. They are sitting on their bread. Let me go ahead and get back over here on Zoom. Let me see if we can get Kathy up here on Zoom. All right, we got Kathy here on Zoom. Kathy, what's on your mind?
Hi. Hello. Okay. Good evening. I apologize. I have a question. I was on a Zoom meeting with this group of people who were saying that some of them said that they helped to get Trump elected. But bottom line, they had some good talking point for tangibles. But when we asked about the reparation cash payments, they said that it had been sullied, a word I never heard of before. So when I looked it up, basically dead and tabled. And so they're being told that you cannot ask them for cash payments. The people that they're working with, who is Trump staff people, that we can ask for other things, tangible things such as jobs, money for business, etc. But we cannot ask for cash payments.
I talked about this last year.
Okay.
Let me explain something to you all right now. An intelligent organism is an organism that adapts to its new environment. I hate I have to say this publicly, but I'm going to go ahead and say this publicly again because I've said this before. I hate I have to do this. I wish we had a big enough infrastructure that this was not necessary, but unfortunately, this once I'm going to have to do this. That is the correct thing to do. Reparations is a target right now. Donald Trump is in the damn White House. We would be ignorant beyond belief to sit up here and disregard that blatant reality in front of us. We need to know that we are working for reparations, but we can't say that word. Not if you're going into policy positions for it. The Democrats screwed things up, and Trump is pushing the DEI thing to make certain terms persona non grata. We're not in a position with the momentum behind us that we can bang that particular drum. So here's the thing. We have to push the reparations agenda. I've always said this. I've said this now for 2 decades. I don't give a damn what you call what we're doing. I don't get stuck on labels. I don't get stuck on ego. We have an agenda. We are still going to continue to push the elements of our agenda. But yes, we have to be cognizant of the fact that, by the way, one of the changes that has to be made right now is we are going to have to be discerning of when we use that word reparations. We brought it to the forefront. We put it out there. And the whole point was that the Democrats need to understand reparations or you will go away. And as I've always said, reparations is a term for a black agenda, which is the tangibles part of it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I don't give a damn what you call it, so long as you break our tangibles. Kamala Harris and friends, the issue was not that Kamala Harris was not talking about, okay, we want to put money into black businesses. The problem was that when you took a look at what she was doing, that was not actually what it was going to do. We want something specific for us so that we can sit here and say, this is what is set aside for us. So we know exactly what it is. Ain't no funny business, ain't no smoking mirrors, ain't no con job, ain't no double talk. We know exactly what it is we gonna get. The same way that Israel knows exactly what it's gonna get, and Ukraine knows exactly what it's gonna get, and the illegals know exactly what they gonna get. Damn it, we need to know exactly what we gonna get. We are not going to play no funny business where you tell us, don't worry, trust us, there's going to be something over here for you and you going to like it. No, damn that. Before I will vote for you, you're going to have to say specifically what it is you going to do, what it is it's going to be. And I don't give a damn what you call it after that. So we as black folk, we need economic investment specifically for us. I don't give, you talking about $100 billion, I'm all on board for that. I don't give a damn what you call it, small business administration, empowerment zone, whatever the hell it is, just so long as it's tangibles earmarked for us. I don't care what you call it. We have to be savvy enough to push for our elements no matter what it's called. Because, by the way, that's what the so-called conservatives and neocons have done. I've told you all going on 2 decades now, white supremacy is an evolving organism. Lee Atwater in that famous leaked tape said it. He said, hey, we had to change up the way we're doing things. Originally, you could say nigga, nigga. You can't say that. He said, we couldn't say that after the 60s. We had to stop saying that in the 60s, so we had to change the way we talked. We couldn't talk like Strom Thurmond anymore. So he said we had to change it and say, okay, we're not for forced busing and affirmative action. Then we had to change again and say, okay, we're not for taxes and we have to cut education. He said it became more abstract, but with our understanding of who this would affect more than us. That's an organism that has evolved. That's a sophisticated organism, and we have to be the same way. We cannot sit up here and be dragging the same way, and the environment changes and the facts on the ground change and we still pushing the same strategy when the facts on the ground and the environment have so obviously changed. So that's why I've always said to be prepared for those kind of changes, to adapt to it. I don't care what you call it. We use that terminology amongst ourselves, but then again, to be totally honest, we shouldn't even have to do that, to be totally honest, because what's understood shouldn't have to be explained. The idea that we got to keep saying the same damn thing over and over and over again every week, I'm like, that's the bad news. We should be able to say that just a few times and everybody understands what the hell they doing here. That's like going to church and having to tell folks, do you know who Jesus is? Why are you in the church and you don't know who he is? What are you doing here? What are you doing? So when you come here, you should already know what the agenda is. From there, we just push that. Cash payments, it can be the checks, it can be investment, it can be small business administration, zero interest, no loans, none payback. That's perfectly fine. What I'm saying is, well, those other folk right there, Jewish people, when you talk about reparations, that's a word that got used once and you don't ever see it again. They just keep getting money with no explanation for why they're getting it. And I'm like, okay, you see how they just did that? Yeah, we want that right there. Right there. And I don't give a damn what you call it. We want that right there. What you just did for them? Yeah, we need that times 10. We want that right there. Call it whatever you will. Give whatever rationale for it you need to sell to your constituency. Whatever you need to call it or whatever explanation you need to give your constituency to get it through, you go tell them whatever it is. Drop it off. And that's where we need to be. So I've been saying that for a long time here. We need to understand that reparations is our cause and that the elements that constitute that are tangibles. And we push for those no matter what. But no, it is not necessary to label. That label is the thing that we have to be cognizant of. We have to understand why we're here. But yes, folks, we are going to have to be cognizant of the reparations label. The other folks out there, because we have to be public about it and stuff, they're aware of it. We have to be cognizant of it, and we're going to have to stop allowing that label to be a target.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you explaining it in that way because I just got a little concerned and they were saying we needed to find 501c3 agencies.
No, we don't have to do that right there because the Ukrainians didn't have to do that. LGBT don't have to do that. Illegal aliens don't have to do that. That's where you know you're dealing with somebody who got some jive talk. So that part right there is not the part you fall for. The first part you said, yeah, that part right there is viable. When they start telling you now you got to have a plebiscite and then you have to get together the commission and then you have to get together the committee and got to have a 501 and then you have to have a 401 and the 861 and a 229 and a 611. No.
And churches being able to get some of the funding.
Okay, you don't have to distribute. And you didn't require that for Asians. You don't require that for Jews. You don't require that for Israelis. You don't require that for illegals. None of them had to do none of that. You just said, here's your debit card and here's your money. And they're not owed anything. So just understand that first part there is like, yeah, I understand that because we need to keep it more low key. Yeah, but you're not going to use that and then spin it to say, here's where your tangibles go away. And you got to jump through all these hoops to get it. No. That's the part you're not going to do. We're not going to fall for that part there where you say, okay, you can strip the label, but you still got to jump through all these hoops. Well, that's what you were telling us when we had the label on it. When we used the reparations label, you still told us we had to jump through a bunch of hoops, remember? So I'm like, yeah, now that's the part you're not going to pull the okie doke on. You're not going to pull that fast one and say, now here are all the hoops you got to jump through. No, I'm not going to jump through any more hoops than the Ukrainians did, or the illegals, or the Asians, or the Jews. I'm not going to jump through one more hoop than they did. I'm only going to jump through the hoop that they had to jump through. And I'm looking over there, I don't see no hoops. Y'all brought them what they needed. You knew how to bring it to them. Damn it, after 400 years, you know how to bring it to us. And you can call it whatever you like to call it. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Folks, remember that our agenda is tangibles. Our cause is reparations. Our agenda is tangibles. Jason, what's on the agenda? Tangibles. Tangibles. And we ain't jumping through hoops. When you talk about a black hate crime bill, when we're talking about the elements, what are the elements that comprise a hate crime law? You can push for those elements. There's a number of different things that you can label those elements. That's fine. If it makes it more palatable to people, that's perfectly fine. So long as you pass the elements that we said to pass, as long as you do that, I don't care what you call it. I don't have an ego here. I'm not here to say, see, we got reparations passed. I don't care what you call it. Did they pass our agenda? Then I don't. Yes, they did. Okay. Then I don't care what it's called. Lord Rothschild, give me control of a nation's money and I care not who makes its laws. Pass our agenda and I don't care what you call it. I really seriously don't. And I mean that. I mean that. By the way, when you're dealing with white supremacy, remember the one rule of white supremacy is you can't say white. You can point out every other ethnic group, you can't say white. You can talk about blacks, Asians, Arabs. Remember, you can't say white. There ain't no white people. White supremacy all around you, but there ain't no white people. All right. All right, we got Tyler up here on Zoom. Tyler, what's on your mind?
Jason, reparations and salutations. Good evening. So there's a couple things I wanted to get your opinion on tonight, but I wanted to just quickly start by saying the way that you transform my understanding about the, I would just say, righteousness or the legitimacy of our reparations claim is that there's no way you can come to this country, no matter how hard you work, you have to access the money system. And so when immigrants come over here and claim that they just work so hard that money just appeared, no, you got a contract with someone who knew that you didn't have the credentials to get a job. When it comes to Native African Americans, there's an issue when we have this on our background or that on our background. But when we can't even prove, when people can't prove that they're in the country illegally, they can still get access to work. They can get access to the money system. So the resources are there. They've always been there. And if you have resources for people who have not even invested in the country, you have resources for those who have invested in the country. And I don't know if you heard about El Salvador offering to take American criminals. I wanted to get your opinion on this. Do you think that's the new black deportation strategy, Jason?
No, because that would be illegal. Not even really sure that Trump could even do it the way he's saying it, but he's saying it for people who are not U.S. citizens. But no, you can't do that to American citizens.
Okay. Do you see what Trump did?
Because that would violate due process.
Okay. Do you see Trump, what he did this week in Palestine, quote unquote, wiping Palestine off the map? Do you see that as a chess move, as this bigger political move to use his power to gain favoritism? Because I think he came in to California when he went, and showed Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom their ass in a hat. When he gave it to them, I felt like he kind of took California. And with this Palestine move, he now, I feel, I'll be honest, I'm in LA, Jason, I'm near the West Side. There's not a lot of anti-Trump rhetoric coming from the Jewish community right now, Jason.
Well, there's no reason for it. Sheldon Adelson's widow and whatnot has been given a bunch of money and things. So the Jewish lobby is very happy with Donald Trump, and why wouldn't you be? So with that being the case, no, America is not taking over the Gaza Strip. The president can't do that. But what he is doing is he's trying to throw out a bunch of big ideas. So that's what he's really doing. America's not going to own Greenland. Forget about it. If you want that war, you should have done that a century ago. Forget about it. Canada, we tried that war also. There's a reason why there's a Canadian border in America. That didn't work out either. So Canada's not going to be the 51st state and Greenland's not going to be the 52nd. But what he's doing is throwing out a bunch of big ideas. And I guess that's cool to an extent there. It's like, okay, you're trying new things. You're throwing out big ideas. The only thing I would see is that it'll allow for more settlements probably in Israel and whatnot. But America's not taking that over. And you're not going to push the Palestinians off into Jordan or whatever. They've already said that because they were wind up having their governments toppled by these newcomers. We already settled that 30 years ago. So he can say that, but it's not something you can actually do. If he tried to, the Middle East would revolt against him. So that's not actually going to happen. He's just throwing big ideas out there. What he is saying is that he wants a permanent resolution. I don't want to say a permanent solution, but he wants a permanent resolution to that thing. That's what Jewish people want to hear. Jewish people want to hear there's going to be a permanent solution.
Last thing, Jason, is
which, by the way, is a hell of a whole lot more than we ever heard, by the way. We've been asking for a permanent solution to a bunch of damn things, and nobody even suggested that. So think about here's my thing. By him saying that, even if it's not something that can actually be done, do you realize what that does for Jewish people that they have an advocate?
Yeah.
Even for something that's really not practical, he's being an advocate for it. That's the issue that we have with the Democrats. We'll be damned. Whether you can do it or not is not the issue. Are you advocating for us? Whether you can do it or not, are you being our spokesperson and saying, hey, this is the kind of thing that we need to see? And yeah, a lot of ideas some ideas will be outlandish. Many of them will be bold to the point of being outlandish. Okay, but if we need bold solutions, shouldn't you be a bold advocate for us? And maybe we're not going to get everything. Well, that's not mathematically possible. But you're being an advocate for nothing. You're not advocating for any move. Yeah. Bold, minor, or otherwise. So at least he's advocating for them. Even if he can't do it, think about what that's saying to them. Hey, he's saying it publicly. He's not just acknowledging our existence. He's being a bold advocate for some big moves. That carries a lot of cachet, dude.
Yeah. Last thing, Jason, is Elon Musk was talking about welcoming the Afrikaners because they're getting a lot of the land is being reclaimed by South Africans. And I was wondering, is this the start of the third mass migration? Is this Elon Musk saying, hey, this is a great time to get white immigrants, from countries. Let's get them set up now that we're clearing space. Like, do you think they're going to just move the Hispanics out, leave the vacuum, or are they moving them out with plans to move in, foreign-born Europeans?
Well, Elon didn't leave South Africa because he loves South Africa. But you can't really make a moral argument for them to retain what they stole in South Africa. This isn't centuries old. You can't make an argument for that. You can't support Israel and then talk about South Africa can't do X, Y, Z. So you don't have a big leg to stand on in that regard. I don't know if Elon would want to move those people. I don't think that's really feasible. But I certainly do think that with the comments that he's made about America and South Africa and Europe, definitely he is concerned about white hegemonic power. He's certainly concerned about that. That's certainly in his front windshield. He is very concerned about that. And, he's made it to a point, what good are all those billions if you're not going to use it? So he's willing to take that risk, and he's using that to promote it, which is why I've said forever. Dr. Claude Anderson said that, the economics is supposed to control the politics. That's what he's doing with it. But the real thing is they've gotten to a point where he had to get this rich so that he could openly advocate for these things without the fear of being decimated or canceled or exercised or excommunicated. So now he's in a position where, okay, he's going to take a lot of hits and take a lot of arrows, but he can openly advocate for it now.
Yeah.
Which is a hell of a whole lot more than we've ever gotten from our black so-called entrepreneurial class. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and see if I can get Robbie up here on Zoom. Let me see if we can get Robbie up here on Zoom. Looking for Robbie here on Zoom. There you go. Robbie, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's going on, Jason? Man, you caught me right in the middle of a Grubhub drop-off.
Okay. Should we call you back?
I'm curious. Okay, thank you. I'm curious, Jason. So in 12 years, right? So let's say the Democrats, they make promises. They say they're going to give something to us to get our vote, to get our support. Then they get in office and they don't do it. Then what? What's our response then?
You don't have credibility if you haven't demonstrated that you're going to do something about it. In the words of Dr. John Henry Clark, you cannot have a coalition unless you demonstrate to the members of the coalition who break the coalition that you are willing to punish people who break the coalition. The Democrats have gotten a taste of that punishment in 2016. They got a great, big, huge teaspoon helping of it in 2024. If they get shown that a couple of more times, they will take you seriously because at some point it becomes an existential threat for them. When you start seeing the possibility of California flipping red and Georgia went from purple to back solidly red and Florida solidly red, places that 7 years ago you were talking about, they going purple and gonna go blue, and you just watch that go up in smoke. Brother, like I say, there's a whole lot to be lost for that. They're looking to see how serious we are. Once they see how serious we are, we won't have to drag them along. They're going to take you seriously because every time they lose an election, it's years before they get another shot at it. You see what the problem is? It's not like they get to come back the next day or the next month and get a do-over. When you lose an election, it's going to be years before you get another shot at this. So our whole thing is to let them know that it's not a joke. We are serious. Our actions will back that up. Are you going to have some of them who are going to try to be slick? Sure, but here's the thing. The whole point of getting them to say all this stuff up front is that's what avoids that nonsense you talking about. Barack Obama never actually promised us anything. He just said he understood us and we shall overcome, and I see y'all over there. And people did a whole lot of assuming of what that meant. We're not going for that game. We're saying that you are going to have to make this your campaign platform, that this is what you're running on. And that there's no point in voting for you unless you're going to support this because this is what I'm running on. That's what we haven't been doing. We didn't say that. We were too shy and too coy and too bashful. And don't worry, they'll do something for us after they get in. Just trust them. We're like, yeah, damn, trusting. You need to tell me what you're going to do for us so that anybody else who considers voting for you needs to know that this is what they're voting for too. The Latinos and the Jewish folk, if they vote for you, you need to let them know this is what you're going to be voting for now. If you vote for me, this is what you're going to be getting. That's the difference.
Copy that. And also Biden did it too in his inauguration speech. He said, I see you black folks, I see you, and proceeded to do nothing for us. So
exactly, because you were voting to be seen. Well, I saw you. But when you think about it, what did he say he was specifically going to do for us? He said he was going to come see us. Well, I guess he kept his promise.
Sometimes I bump into a congressman or two here in Maryland. Glenn Ivey, he's one, I guess, newer congressman. Do you have any specific recommendations for me to anything to say specifically to him when I bump into him?
Yeah, cut the check. I mean, the bottom line is we are only interested in economics, and we want the exact same priority and ease of access that you gave Jewish people and Asian folk. Y'all gave Asians a specific crime bill. You've given specific funding. Jewish people are getting specific funding. We don't want to hear no excuses. What you did for them, we want you to do for us. Well, I can't do nothing for just black folk. That's fine. We're not black. We're the descendants of the slaves. That's not a race, that's a lineage. So what you did for the Native Americans, you're going to drop it off for us the same way. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me go ahead and see if I can get iPhone up here on Zoom. I don't see anything. iPhone must be doing their OnlyFans.
No.
All right, we got iPhone here on Zoom. What's your name?
Mark.
All right, Mark, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, if we get them to commit on anything.
Okay, brother, you got your speakers on. You need to turn those off. You have your YouTube on.
Okay, can you hear me?
I've heard you. I just want to stop hearing me. All right, what did you want to ask?
Yeah, I just want to ask if we got anything specific to us for our lineage. Wouldn't that light the fuse pretty much? Then they would have to research who we are, and that would set us apart. And it will basically open the door for everything else once they have to document who we are if we get just one thing specific to us.
Well, here's the thing. I want y'all to understand something here. They damn me acknowledged 55 damn different genders without anybody having to campaign on anything.
Yeah, so that's why
you went from transsexual. They adding letters every damn other week. LGBT, XYZ. And what I'm saying is that, yeah, for everybody else, you move quick for them. The issue is that we've allowed them to bull jive us and stall with us. They have no problem creating whole new genders every other week and then tell you, so you have no problem being able to acknowledge our delineation either. You can acknowledge that just as quickly as you acknowledging Zim, Zay, Zim, Zalabim, and all the crap pronouns up there. If you can acknowledge that, you can acknowledge us just that quickly.
So, but wouldn't that get the ball going as far as reparations? Because then they'll say, well, this is a specific group.
Well, so I mean, here's the thing, brother. We had that conversation going in California without it even being necessary. They already know. I just want you to understand what you're saying is, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong or silly. What I'm saying is they already know. So you can do that first and come back to it later. Or you can do that later and come back to it, or do it something else first and come back to that later. You can do this first and come back to it later, or do that first and do something else later. But they already know. They already know, brother. The conversation has already gotten around. You've already had Congress people and Democrat operatives talking about, the FBA thing and distinguishing ourselves. They already know. Roland Martin is one of their operatives, remember? His job was to try to convince black society that didn't matter. Please understand, folks. That's the whole reason why me and the new black media jumped on that, because it's like, hey, here's our proof. Roland Martin is on the direct payroll. We proved he's on the direct payroll. Yes, the Donna Brazil thing already exposed that years ago. We were like, he's on the payroll, people. This is his job to do this.
What I'm asking is, if we get a specific tangible, just anything, a hate crime bill, anything that's specifically for us, they would have to go ahead and set up a bureau to document every one of us.
No, you can pass legislation for us without having to do that. The benefit, however, of having something like a Freedmen's Bureau or the Freedmen's Bank is that is an institution. I explained this before. Please understand what the benefit of that is. The whole thing about California, the reason why Gavin Newsom and the Democrats did not want to do that is because if you establish that, that is a part of the government now. That is an institution.
Yes, we will be in the house.
Yeah, I mean, that's a part of the institution, a part of the structure now. So that was why it was very obvious, because it was already there before. It's like, yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, I mean, that's the benefit of having that. So just understand what the specific benefit of it is, that you would have a specific office set up within the governmental structure for us. That's the benefit of it. That's the real advent. Not even the financial part of it. Not even the financial part. The fact that you have something in the structure itself that's within the institution, and it's an institution of its own. That's the difference. Right now, you all have to remember, when you set up departments of government like the Department of Education and these things like that, a president cannot just come in and remove that. Because remember, Congress has the power of the purse, and it is Congress that sets up these agencies. So it's Congress that set up the Department of Homeland Security, Congress that set up the Department of Education, Congress that set up the Department of Commerce, which means that you have to get Congress to undo that. So if you make a Freedmen's Bureau, if the legislature makes it, then it would be the legislature that would have to undo it. But you couldn't have some rogue governor come in and say, yeah, I don't like that. We ain't fooling with it. No, you'd have to, that's an agency, and you're going to have, if you don't like it, you're going to have to remove it the way you built it, which means you're going to have to get the legislature to get together on that. So just understand what the real benefit of it is. But that would definitely be a fantastic part of the equation, and I certainly want it, but it's not essential to get legislation. You can get legislation without it, but I want it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for giving us a call. Like I said, we can get legislation and other things without it, but I want it. I want stuff that is ingrained in it. I want things that are woven into the fabric so that it cannot be easily undone. Because once you make progress, you need to be able to hold it. Once you make progress, if you have something that's institutionalized, that helps you to hold on to it. He was saying, don't they have to do it? No, they don't have to do it, but I definitely want to see it. Because once that happens, it's like, okay, now you're not going to be able to just walk in and undo it so easily. Because it can always be undone. But the harder you make it, the harder it'll be for them to do anything about it. Because they're going to try to go to work against you immediately. Our job is to make sure we don't make it easy. They're coming. Well, if they're coming, then damn it, don't make it easy. All right, we got Maurice here on Zoom. Maurice, what's on your mind?
So with the Democrats basically going off a cliff, do you believe that the bootlicks like Roland Martin and other such coons, do you think that they will pivot to more of a black empowerment type of agenda?
No,
because I know you said that the Democrats it's going to take a couple election cycles for them to start to acquiesce to our demands in a bit. Do you think that the coons will go ahead and follow suit?
No, Roland Martin does not believe in black empowerment. Roland Martin believes in Roland Martin empowerment.
True.
Him, Coleman Cruz, Van Jones, and the rest of them. So, no, that will not change. What Roland will do is, if the prevailing winds go heavily against him, like it did for 8 years ago, or if the Democrats freeze him out, he's going to adopt some of our language to send threats to the Democrats. But ultimately, the Democrats know that he can't come over here with us. We're not going to ally with him. So they know that that would be a bluff and that's going to be a red herring. He doesn't have the ability to ally with us. So he can't convince them that he's going to come to our side because they know they ain't going to have nothing to do with you. So that's an idle threat. So the only thing he can really do is be a little more cantankerous and agitating with them than usual, but he can't do anything beyond that. That's the real thing. He won't be able to do anything beyond that. So he'll adopt some of the talking points to a certain degree to try to tread water, but ultimately where he is, we've made it very clear. We've made the decision. You can't go anywhere else. So you better be comfortable kissing them white folks' asses because you can't come back over here to us.
With that being said, do you think coons like Roland will actually have a future when the Democrats actually try to acquiesce to our demands a little bit?
No. There's the real problem about it because, you see, their whole thing was that Roland was supposed to be able to prevent that from even occurring. That's the problem. The whole reason for the Van Jones and the Roland Martins and the Michael Eric Dysons and the Cornel West is to prevent us from even getting that far. They were supposed to take us off in the direction. This is what happened back in the 1960s. Dr. John Henry Clark talked about that. And yes, I'm being a little bit fast right now, but Dr. John Henry Clark talked about that. In the 1960s, he said that the dominant society was willing to give us anything we wanted. We were out there in the streets in Watts. We're out there in the streets in New York. He said they were willing to give us anything that we wanted at that time. And we told them we wanted integration. And they said, done. When they realized they could steer that, they said, done. And there were people out there like Malcolm X and Stokely Carmichael who were talking about nationhood. Yes. Let's be very clear about that. There were people, Elijah Muhammad, long before that, they had been talking about nationhood. Yes. But they offered folks integration, and the simple fact of the matter is there were more niggas. Did he say niggas? I damn sure did.
Man, deal with it, nigga.
There was more niggas who were interested in becoming the next Jack Johnson than the next Malcolm X. So they saw integration as the shortest distance to interracial sexual access, interracial social access, moving to that neighborhood they had always been idolizing, getting their Candace Owens on. They saw that as their shortest path and strategy to accomplish that. And the dominant society built a whole marketing system and everything else to feed you and to dissipate that energy. Hey, take a look. We got Nicole Michelle's on Star Trek on TV. Then it becomes about integration, becomes representation, symbolism. You can be seen. You're finally acknowledged. You're no longer Ralph Ellison, the invisible man, the invisible people. You're no longer that. And the previous generations put heavy cachet on that of being seen. And so that became a distraction and a strategy that was used to avoid real concrete paradigm changing things. So back then, the dominant society was willing to give us whatever we had wanted, and we decided integration would be it. Now, was there some coaxing and some agent provocateurs? The bottom line is we went for it. Today is a different matter. We are not demanding integration. We are demanding empowerment. And power is something that belongs to you. It is not something you keep going to other people for. It's something that will belong to you. Roland Martin's job was to repeat what happened in the 60s, to tell us that we need, that's why he always bring on academics and some failed Negro school students. We need scholarships, and we don't need all that stuff, y'all. We need scholarships. Everything he talks about is integration, education, intellectual masturbation. Oh, Jason got bars. But that's Roland's job, is to take you away from that part you're talking about, because Malcolm X said it. It's the same thing. Malcolm X said that you're being given tokens, because he said the dominant society, he said the white man knows what you want. He hears you crying out like a baby for freedom, justice, and equality. And he knows he can't give it to you. Not that he's unable to give it to you, but he knows I can't do that because this overturns everything. This will make permanent change. And we're here to figure out how do we sell you all back down so we can maintain the status quo. Roland Martin's job was to help mislead us so that they could ultimately maintain the status quo. Symbolic thing over here, symbolic gesture over there, but ultimately at the end of all of this, you're still where you were at the bottom of the pile, and all you can really do is kick your strength up. You can kick it up to them so that they continue riding high on the hog and running things. If he has failed at doing this, then he no longer serves a purpose. If the only thing they're going to end up doing is giving us what we want, why does he need to be here at all?
Breaking their tools. They're going to break him.
If for nothing more than to punish him for failure. Please understand that. White folk will rehabilitate a white person who's failed. They have no use whatsoever for a Negro that they have sullied their hands and soiled their hands on, and you failed them? Oh, no, no, no. If nothing else, even if we don't make an example of you, we will make a victim of you. If for nothing else, then for you wasting our time.
Yeah, I predict they're going to hit Roland with a Me Too charge, but from a man, though. So, yeah.
Well, judging by what was on his iPad, that'd be the only thing that would happen right there. Either that or he's going to get somebody accusing him of, dining and dashing. And somebody at the Golden Corral, they're going to be like, hey, this big nigga ran out of here from the buffet and didn't pay for nothing. So that'll probably be the one that's going to catch him. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Yeah, buddy, old Roland going to be at Shoney's. And yeah, dude, he's going to be at Golden Corral sitting up there and it's like Dave Chappelle in that skit where he stands up and knocks the water over and runs. And that'll be Roland except the running part. That'll be Roland except the running part. That's the part that won't be. There will be no running. There'll be somebody trying to move them big feet as fast as he can, but it will not actually be running. It will not actually be running. So... yes, sir. That's the one that'll do that. But no, people, if they have to come to the table and break bread, everybody who is a failed tool is going to be like, oh, nigga, you got to go. You got to go. If all we're going to do is wind up having to break bread anyway, what the hell are we talking to you for? You're useless. Your job was to prevent us from having to do. People, think about this for a few moments. If you had a mechanic that you saw every year who said that he was going to do the maintenance on your car so that you wouldn't have to replace the engine in 5 years. Well, if 5 years comes up and the engine goes out, what do you think? Are you still going to keep paying him, $100 a year for maintenance on your car? Hell no. The first thing you're like, I'll be damned if you said paying you, I paid you so I wouldn't have to buy a new engine. If I was just going to have to buy a new engine, all the money I gave you was a waste. I'm damn sure not going to keep wasting it. Man, let me keep this damn money in my pocket, and in 5 years, I'll just buy another engine. Yeah, I got to buy another engine, but I'm not going to keep wasting resources on you. I'm a business, not a charity. If I'm going to have to just buy another engine anyway, let me keep this $100 in my pocket. Whatever I was going to give you can go toward the next new engine. And that's the way it is with the Negro bootlicks. If you fail to mislead the black population away from the things that they need, if you fail to be able to stop them from doing that, ain't no reason to keep paying you. It's like, man, look, we're going to have to break bread. Let's just go ahead and do that, and we cut our losses with you. There is no reason for them to keep financing Roland Martin's Uber Eats budget if he ain't going to deliver anything. So if he has failed to be a competent operative to mislead us, it's like, we done with it. Forget about it. Don't need it. The Democrats have become a geriatric freak show. They are misled. They have surrounded themselves with a bunch of useful idiots who have deviant agendas. And you all recognize this, don't you? We were all there. All of us had a year in school where the teacher, for whatever reason, they allowed us to select the people in the classroom who would represent us. Maybe it was for the science project. Maybe it was for the debate team. Maybe it was for piano class. Maybe it was for class president. You always had a situation where you were allowed to select somebody or a group of people who would, be your representatives. And it was always the little weird kids, especially once you got to high school. The weird kids got louder. And every time they had an opportunity to assert themselves, things just got real strange and real wacky. They would just say all kinds of wacky ass ideas. And that's what the Democrat Party is today. All the damn weirdo kids, they've all been selected and they're all in charge now, or at least they've all got influence now. And they brought all their wacky, crazy ass agendas. They don't care about winning. They could give a damn about winning. They just want to be seen. The party is in complete disarray. Not being Donald Trump is not going to help you. You're going to have to be better than him. And zim, zay, z, zay, zim, y'all, zimmins, that's not going to win. That's not going to do it. Not at all. Not at all. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the Haven of Intelligent Black Thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., Gentrified Race War, blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo, Barbara Williams, Kassan Kelly, Supreme Mash, Cornell, Immigrant B1, For My Peoples, Jovi Riggs, everybody else here tonight, thank you very much for your support. Najee, Banks, and everybody else, thank you very much here. I want to thank all of you for tuning in live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, Black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.